They are a force, a fury. The nation's #1 ranked team. They are the Hurricanes of Miami, and from any point on the field at any time, they can strike like lightning. In Game 1, the charge was led by running back Melvin Bratton. 3 times he scored as Miami ripped South Carolina. In Game 2, the defense dominated. 6 sacks, and Florida fell. Game 3 in the rout of Texas Tech was sparked by the special teams. 3 games, 3 wins, and a ranking of #2. Game 4 brought top-ranked Oklahoma. Vinny Testaverde fired 4 TDs, and a new #1 was crowned. The Sooners were thunderstruck. The Canes followed with victories 5 and 6. Easy wins over Northern Illinois and West Virginia. And even when things went wrong, they turned out right. 2 weeks ago, Testaverde's role reached the perfect 7 as Miami stormed by Cincinnati. Yes, these are the Hurricanes of Miami, the nation's #1 team. And at the eye of the Hurricanes sits the nation's #1 player. Today, he goes for victory #8 against Florida State. Will lightning strike again? Today, Bobby Bowden brings high-scoring Florida State into the Orange Bowl. The Seminoles are on a roll, but can they knock off #1?
We have made a lot of progress since the Nebraska and the Michigan ball game. Whether we have made enough to beat them or not, I don't know, but we might have.
Against Miami, you can't be overconfident. The Seminoles will need their game of the year. We're live from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida. Attention snowbirds, this is the kind of scene that South Florida dearly loves to show you this time of year. It is gorgeous, and here inside the Orange Bowl, along with watching a little college football this afternoon, some folks are going to be doing some sunbathing here too, because our temperature has soared past 80 degrees, and we have got #1 against the Florida State Seminoles, the Miami Hurricanes, who have won 7 in a row. And you know, if you look at the Miami schedule, if they are going to stumble at all before they get to a bowl game, it would be this afternoon against the Seminoles. The stage is set. I don't know if the Seminoles are that good, but the Hurricanes are going to be pressed here this afternoon. Now, there's a lot of other things going on in college football. Let's go to New York, and here's Jim Nance. Jim?
All right, thank you, Brent. In addition to this being a big day for college football, it's also opening weekend for the NBA. And following the Florida State-Miami game, we'll be going down to Houston for the rematch of last year's Western Finals between the Lakers and the Rockets. Around the league last night, it was a banner night in Boston as the Celtics raised the banner, celebrating their 16th World Championship of last season. Now, for the game, Larry Bird, connecting on the three-pointer, had 24 points as Boston beat Washington by 18. In Philadelphia last night, the doctor announced this would be his final season. Irving scored 18 as the Sixers won their season opener over Indiana. And last night in Denver, it was an easy but costly victory for the Nuggets. Veteran forward Calvin Nat went down with a torn Achilles tendon. It's expected he'll be out for the entire season. And finally, high school seniors who hope to play college ball next year must perform well today on their SAT, one of the major college entrance exams. Under Proposition 48, the score to beat is a combined 700. Right now, the #1 team in college football, Miami, is getting ready to take on Florida State. So let's go back to the Orange Bowl, and here's Brent.
And we will continue with our coverage in just a moment. CBS Sports presents college football. Live from the Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida, it's the Florida State Seminoles versus the Miami Hurricanes. Today's game is sponsored by the Heartbeat of America, today's Chevrolet, the Equitable, your key to financial opportunity, and by Michelob Light, super premium taste and less filling beer. It's an intrastate war here from up north, from Tallahassee, Florida, the capital of this great state. The Seminoles of Bobby Bowden have come down here, and there is one thought on their mind today: upset #1. Bobby Bowden, who has done such a good job over there at Florida State, has put this team back together following some tragedy, but it will not be easy. Jimmy Johnson and the Hurricanes are on a roll. We should have a good one for you here this afternoon in the Orange Bowl. We'll have a crowd of about 65 or 70,000. I think you can hear them in the background. These two schools go hard at each other. It's interesting that the road team has won the last 5 times that Florida State and Miami have played. The key job today for the Seminoles is to attempt to shut down Miami's splendid quarterback, Vinny Testaverde. Now, my colleague, Ara Parsegan, was downstairs in one of the locker rooms at the blackboard, and he told us about the task at hand.
Thank you, Brent. Miami has been an awesome passing team this year with 17 touchdown passes. And one of the formations we'll see this afternoon is this strong side flood pattern, which they like to use. If the team overloads, they'll move to this and throw to the weak side. If teams zone off, they'll send out all 5 receivers. So what it means for the Seminoles is they got to mix up their defenses this afternoon. Number one, here's one of the ones that they'll be using this afternoon, a zone, a 3-deep zone, 4 backers, 4-man rush. The field in the deep is divided into thirds, 1 quarter each for the linebackers with a 4-man rush. They can't stay in this all day. They'll get cut up. Now, you've heard us talk about double zone, and this is the 2-deep zone with 5 backers and a 4 rush. This is vulnerable to the deep pass, but it shores up all the short passing game with a 4-man rush. We'll see some of that. Now, if you want to blitz, you have to lock on to the receivers here, man for man, blitz the strong safety from any position here, but you've got to get to that quarterback, otherwise they're going to bomb you. Another one that we may see is what they call the 2-deep, 5-under man with a 4-man rush. Again, 2-deep zone, 5 man-to-man coverage underneath, good for short passing. But I think, as Bobby Bowden said, they're going to have to outscore the Miami Hurricanes if they expect to win.
The captain's out at midfield. They'll flip the coin. There is a breeze blowing in the Orange Bowl. It'll be a factor. We're going to be back with the opening kickoff in a moment. Back at the Orange Bowl, ready for the Hurricanes against Florida State. John Dockery is with us. He was down at the locker rooms for the pregame talk. Let's go down to John.
Thank you, Brent. I was in the locker room, as you said, and the Seminoles are like guided missiles looking for a target. Bobby Bowden told them 3 things, basically. He said, don't be out-hit. If you don't want to be, you won't be. He said, don't lose your poise if something goes wrong early. Perhaps most importantly, he reminded the team that Pablo Lopez's mother was here in the stands. Of course, Pablo Lopez, their teammate who died 6 weeks ago in that tragic accident. So the Seminoles, quietly intense, they're ready for their battle with the Hurricanes. Just about ready to go. Now back up to you, Brent.
All right, John, and there we see Mark Seelig, number 3, to kick it off for the number 1 ranked team in the country, with Keith Ross and Derek Carter deep. Into the corner of the end zone and on out. Era, that's exactly the spot where the Hurricanes buried Oklahoma a few weeks ago.
Looks like there was a flag down.
This is the offense Florida State will come in with. Herb Gaynor is the split end. He is the big play man. Darren Holloman is the flanker. Watch him for an end around this afternoon. Pat Carter, the tight end, is number 85. Bobby Bowden likes him a lot, and he'll use him this afternoon. Sammy Smith's the tailback. He's number 33. He is alongside number 30, Tanner Holloman. And the young man who will quarterback the Seminoles today, Danny McManus, number 14. He has guided this team to 3 straight wins. He'll throw on first down, complete to Carter, the tight end.
well-executed bootleg pass in a sense. He faked to the field that time, Brent, brought his tight end across from the left side, and he was wide open. Watch the tight end on your left. He fakes a sweep to the left. Now look at the tight end, Carter, number 85, wide open in the seam, right there. And 36, one of the big hitters in that secondary, which is Bain, makes a great, Blades makes a great play.
That's a 20-yard gain. First and 10. Rolling to the left. McManus dropping again for his tight end, Carter, and he has another 8 yards before middle linebacker George Myra drops off and brings Carter down. Let's take a look at this offensive line, and their job today is a big one. Ionata is on the left side. Next to him at guard is Kuipers, number 62. The center, Jimmy Hindley. He'll have his hands full. Mark Salva on the right side. And Pat Tomberlin, over 300 pounds this afternoon. 2nd and 2, and they've thrown wide open to Sammy Smith. First down to the 31. There is a penalty flag down. However, hold on. It's a 20-yard gain, and there is a penalty marker down with Smith stretched out near the 30-yard line. He is hurt. So the game stands.
McManus does a beautiful job faking the trap right there to Holloman and delivering to Sammy Smith coming right out of the backfield. Well-executed play. That could hurt them, Brent, because Floyd is already out. They're running back, and Smith just went down.
So far, McManus has put it up on every play. This one to the running back releasing, and they will go era to a sophomore, Keith Ross, number 20. He will be a tailback. Sammy Smith is still down on the ground. He is their ballyhooed freshman tailback. Now he is up and being assisted toward the sideline. Era, how about this Hurricane defense?
Well, it's been a remarkable defense. They've had 26 sacks. The front four, Bill Hawkins at the right defensive end, and at the right tackle, Jerome Brown, a 4'8", at 285 pounds. Dan Cilio steps in for injured Derwin Jones and a big guy. And Dan Stubbs, a sack man. He's already had 12.
But they have lost Sammy Smith. And Ross, number 20, is in the backfield along with Holloman. Florida State has not run yet. And they come with Ross. No gain. The heart of that Hurricane defense there to stand him up. And again, George Myra Jr., number 45, makes the stop.
Strong side linebacker Winston Moss. He'll be over the tight end all day. George Myra, great competitor, the middle linebacker. And Rod Carter, the weak backer. And this is a great secondary they have. They have a couple of injuries. Bubba McDowell will start at the left corner. Kevin McCutcheon at the strong safety. Benny Blades, a great one at the free safety. And Tolbert Bain rounds out that secondary.
They have 5 in there now on this 2nd and 8. McManus takes a deep drop. Incomplete. And the ball should have been caught. That was Darren Holloman, who didn't hold on out here. The right side of the offense. McManus took an extra deep drop, had time. The offensive line gave him enough time.
Blitz on right here. He curls right there, but look at the blitz in the inside. They beat it. But unfortunately, he doesn't hang on to the ball. Man-to-man coverage underneath. You see, Holloman, Darren turns right there, but does not hold on to the ball.
Era Bubba McDowell was playing him very soft. He had backed off. 3rd and 8, and they run Ross. And Ross battles his way close to a first down.
Beautiful call. Bobby Bowden said he wants to run the ball when on passing downs and pass the ball on running downs. There was a great example. They call him in what we call double zone man under. You'll see everybody's running to coverage. Carter makes a great block right there on Myra, number 45. And of course, Keith Ross picks up the first down.
The ball is at the 20-yard line after a 10-yard run. Now they split the backs. This is the first time they've shown a set other than the eye. They keep him back to block. McManus almost intercepted down there on the 2-yard line. Benny Blades had the ball in and out of his hands, and he should have held on.
Well, McManus thus far has certainly impressed me, Brent. He has rejuvenated this Seminole team. You see Jimmy Johnson right there concerned, obviously, because of the way these Seminoles are moving that football. This ball was just overthrown right there. Blades had it right in his hands, but could not hang on.
This is another passing situation, and already McManus is 3 of 5 for 48 yards. Split backs again. And instead they run on that sprint draw, and Holloman, the fullback, gets to the 5 with Benny Blades, 36 in hot pursuit. That was a tremendous call, Era.
A great call.
Defense like me, we thought they'd come up throwing.
Perfect call on the play. Keith Ross has really impressed me. Number 20 stepping in there. He's the third string running back. You'll see it from a end zone shot. Just hands the ball on a little trap play and watch him cut clear back across the grain and avoid the tacklers. I haven't seen anyone do this to the Miami defense in quite a while.
They have put the Canes on the run here. First and goal at the 6. Here's straight ahead with the fullback, Holloman, for the touchdown. Number 1 in trouble early.
That was a magnificent drive by Florida State. Well conceived. You can see Jimmy Johnson there, obviously concerned. Well-executed drive, both passing and running. Great calls.
Derek Schmidt will attempt the extra point. The holder is McManus. Schmidt's a good kicker, and you'll need one here this afternoon. He puts the 7th point up on the board. They drive 80 yards in 9 plays, Era.
There it is from the end zone. Watch him cut back and look at the daylight over the left side. Right there. You see 54 Hawkins is playing the quarterback. They didn't even have to block him. They finessed him.
And Tanner Holloman scores before Vinny Testaverde has touched the ball. But it's Testaverde's turn, and we'll be back. Bobby Bowden with a 7-point lead. This morning he got up and said to his wife, Ann, I can't remember ever being a 14-point underdog at Florida State. And dear, I'll tell you something. We are going to win this football game. That's a coach who knew something, Era.
Well, he's got to wait till Vinny Testaverde gets his hands on the ball.
Schmidt with the kickoff, and it'll go to a short man, Darrell Oliver. And Oliver is down at the 25. The Seminoles are fired now. They've got 7 points to work with. And after this action, we will take you down to Houston. Season premiere of the NBA on CBS. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Houston Rockets. We'll tell you more about that game as the afternoon unfolds. Now it is 1st and 10 for Testaverde. The report from the bench. We see that the Seminoles go 80 yards in 9 plays, 243. Holloman with the touchdown. Testaverde up with first down. They'll come from the I formation. He'll throw on first down. Great time. Sideline complete. And he goes to a tight end with Greg Newell getting Charles Henry out of bounds on first down.
These are great skilled people that Miami has. Brett Perriman starts at that split end spot. Great jumper. Michael Irvin, the big play man, already has 17 touchdown passes, career touchdown passes. Charles Henry, who you saw catch the ball. Warren Williams at the left half. Alonzo Highsmith at fullback. And Vinny Testaverde, Mr. Everything.
Mr. Everything hands it off that time to Williams, and Williams gets the first down before Newell, the free safety, again makes the stop. So on 2 plays, the Hurricanes here are forcing the secondary to come up with the tackles.
Gary Stevens, the offensive coordinator, said that they did want to establish a running game here, and they certainly do, as number 38 McGowan overplays at the linebacker, ran by it. They didn't have to block him.
Irvin goes to a slot. Perriman is outside of him. Highsmith cuts back. Spins off a tackle. Gets to the 49. And again, they're getting past the defensive offensive line and the linebackers. That was an 11-yard gain by Highsmith.
And also an excellent job of running by Alonzo Highsmith. The pros say he's the best in the nation at that spot. Now watch him shake some tacklers. He cuts back, keeps great balance. There's a good shot right there, but he avoids that one, spins off, bleeds 11 yards out of that play.
On 1st and 10, incomplete. Urban on the far side, had it go through his hands and on out of bounds.
Okay, the offensive line of the Hurricanes has been decimated by injury. Maurice Maddox will step in there for injured John O'Neill at the left tackle. Dave Alekna, very bright, intelligent at left guard. Rakosi, a fine center with great experience, quick feet for a big guy. Paul O'Connor, the best pass blocker in that line. And Scott Crobin stepping in for injured Davis and Patchen.
Passing situation for the Heisman Trophy favorite. Hits Urban that time. The same pattern on the far sideline. And Sanders, number 2, was the defensive back who took him out of bounds. Well, this is the defense working right now for Bobby Bowden. This is a young defensive line, and you will recognize perhaps only one name. That's the nose guard. He's improving. There he is, Gerald Nichols. He was in on that 7-sack attack in Tallahassee last year. Didn't help. Felton Hayes, one of the backers. Fred Jones is a good one, and so too is Paul McGowan. But so far they've been kept out of the tackles here. It is 3rd and 2. And Highsmith batters straight on for the first down, and Fred Jones, 55, brings him down. It looks like we could have a high-scoring, freewheeling affair here.
Sure looks like it. Watch Greg Rakosi right there, the center, make a great block. Right here in the center spot right there. Greg Rakosi is the center. Watch him make a nice block here. Turns the nose man Harp out of there, releases off of that, and blocks number 38, the great linebacker McGowan.
The Hurricanes have moved to the Seminoles 36. Testaverde calling the play at the line of scrimmage. Drop. Complete. Found his tight end, and he's out of bounds inside the 15. Charles Henry pushed out by Newell. Good call by Testaverde at the line of scrimmage. That's a 21-yard gain. Testaverde to Henry.
Great play here. You watch the tight end Henry. He'll slow block in here and then break out into the seam. Perfect throw by Testaverde. He releases off right there, breaks to the outside. He's right in the seam. And Testaverde puts it right there. Beautiful throw, well-executed play.
Williams and Highsmith continue to be the running backs. Highsmith straight ahead to the 5-yard line. Newell and Williams, 2 defensive backs for Bobby Bowden, make the tackle. And the Canes are pouring through the front 7.
Great job on the inside. Watch the blocking up front. They're handling Harp. Number 58, the nose man. 55, Jones is blocked. That offensive line, even though it's been hurt by injury, is doing a marvelous job.
This close to the goal. Jimmy Johnson employs 2 tight ends. And Urban comes in on a wing. Highsmith up over the top. Close to the 3-yard line, where it will be 2nd and goal for the Canes.
Well, Bobby Bowden said he wanted to swap touchdowns and field goals with him. He wanted to score the touchdown and hold them to a field goal. He'll be hard-pressed to do that against this outfit. They're really a great offensive football team.
So here at the Orange Bowl in Miami, along with Ara Parsegan, John Dockery, I'm Brent Musburger. Florida State scored first. Miami's opening possession. They have driven down inside the 5, and the Seminoles must stop them there as Williams slipped, and the free safety, Greg Newell, has been extremely active, number 40. He's been in on a half a dozen tackles. You see that low on the back of that helmet. That is a tribute to Pablo Lopez, who was tragically shot to death over in Tallahassee some 6 weeks ago.
This is a run-action pass situation, 3rd down. They like to flood the right side. Not going to run it.
For the flag, touchdown, Williams. the extra point, which could tie the score. The high-scoring Hurricanes, but that was their second rushing touchdown of the season. Usually they stick it in with a pass. Cox adds the extra point, and it's Miami 7, Florida State 7.
Watch number 73, the left guard right here, will pull and seal on the end and set this play off right there. Walls him off, and of course Warren Williams walks into the end zone. Well executed drive and play for the touchdown.
Linebacker Paul McGowan, number 38, tries to come outside to help out, but the blockers are able to contain him, and he can't get there in time as Williams steps in for the touchdown. So the Hurricanes and the Seminoles are all even, and each coach is looking for some defense. Well, there we see Sammy Smith, the tailback for Florida State. He was injured on the first series. He caught a pass releasing from the backfield, sprained shoulder, and from that view it does not appear that Smith will be returning here this afternoon. So Bobby Bowden is shorthanded. Victor Floyd, he was the starter at tailback. He comes in banged up, and the burden falls on Keith Ross, the sophomore from Newberry, Florida, number 20. He also is one of the deep men to return this kickoff. Here he is. He charges out to the 20-yard line. Here's our lineup of NFL games on CBS tomorrow. Dandy with the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. We'll be taking a look at that one on the NFL today. The Niners play New Orleans. Atlanta goes against New England. That is going to be a tough game. Philadelphia, St. Louis, Green Bay, Pittsburgh. Those are all early games, and then late Minnesota plays Washington. The NFL today starts it all at 12:30 Eastern Time on CBS. McManus brings the Seminoles to the line of scrimmage. Off a play fake. Wide open receiver. Complete again for McManus, and another first down. Working against Tolbert Bain, who had dropped off on that zone. They come to the tight end for 17 yards.
They can see everybody is going to be driven off here, and he comes wide open in the left flat. Tom O'Malley, number 92, will break out of the tight end spot, break into the flat right there, and he's wide open.
First and 10 for the Seminoles. Ball is at the 36. And Ross comes out to the 41-yard line before George Myra. 45 wraps him up.
Brent, I think we've got to keep in mind that the Hurricanes had a week off. They haven't had contact for 2 weeks. I shouldn't say contact, but haven't had a game condition. And might have taken them a series of downs or two to get started.
What did Coach Johnson tell you about contact at practice?
They did have a lot of contact. On Tuesday and Wednesday, they hit pretty good, he said, without the full tackling in the secondary. But still, it's not like playing in the game, and sometimes you have to get those bugs ironed out. Let's see what happens on this drive by the Seminoles.
2nd and 6 for the Seminoles. McManus avoids pressure. Deep down the middle, it'll be incomplete, intended for Darren Holloman, and he was lucky to release the ball. He had pressure from the rear closing in, and that was Big Danny Stubbs, number 96, one of the fiercest pass rushers that you and I have seen in college football this season. Now McManus coming back off the play fake. Here is Stubbs around the corner. Can't get back. And that big tackle, Pat Tomberlin, was able to run him off. And then he overthrew his man, and wisely, too, because there was double coverage. It's 3rd down. And McManus with a deep drop, complete over the middle. Scott DeMurray, out of the Miami area, was the receiver.
He just delayed along the line and waited for the clear out, and then just broke underneath it, and he was wide open. You'll see that Gaynor drives off. You see number 1 kind of hesitate. It'll be on the right side of your screen, and then comes underneath all of the zoning linebackers right there and catches the pass.
What we have seen so far. Florida State has picked up a couple of weaknesses in this Hurricane defense. They are moving the ball better than any team that I have seen against this club in a couple of years. Under pressure, incomplete. Going to his tight end, Tom O'Malley, and again, it was Mr. Stubbs in that backfield.
He puts a lot of pressure on you, but the one thing about McManus, as Bobby Bowden said, he is not easy to sack. He's got a quick arm. He's not very big, about 5'11" at the most, but he's awful tough to sack because he senses the people around him, got a quick release, and gets rid of it before the rushers can get to him.
Second and 10. They run Ross and nowhere. Dan Cilio, 93, coming in behind. They yank him down. Young man out of Stamford, Connecticut.
Boy, he made a great play there, Brent. He read it well. They had a little counter play, but he was not fooled by it. Pursued, brought him down beautifully. Watch Cilio at the right side here. Comes right off of his block right there. Pursued right down on Ross. Nice job.
On third down, incomplete and almost intercepted. George Myra batted the ball up in the air. McManus threw the ball low, and Myra was able to bat it away. And Florida State will punt.
He had Gaynor open coming from the right side here. Looks like he's going to scramble and run. Now he sees Gaynor crossing away, and Myra jumps up and bats that ball down. It's almost
Berry
intercepted.
punting the ball to David Kintai. Kintai spins away, gets out beyond the 15-yard line. A 39-yard punt by Berry and an 8-yard Kintai run and error. Now the pressure will be on Florida State's defense when we come back. We're tied in the Orange Bowl. Let's go down to the sideline, and here's John Dockery. John?
Thank you, Brent. Yes, Sammy Smith is along the sidelines. He's on the bench. His shoulder, right shoulder, is taped up. It's a sprained shoulder. It's not separated. They said they'd see how he'd respond to see whether he's going to play or not again. So he's not out definitely, but it does look like he's going to be out for at least a few series. Now back to you, Brent.
Thank you, John. Vinny Testaverde brings the Hurricanes up to the line of scrimmage. Highsmith and Williams are the running backs. Perriman and Irvin, the wide receivers. Williams, who scored the touchdown, breaks free and gets past the 25-yard line before Terry Warren, the outside linebacker, stops him there. Here they are pushing the Seminoles back off the line of scrimmage.
Well, their play calling is excellent, Brent, because the Seminoles there expect a lot of passing from Testaverde. They don't expect this team to run. And they're coming out and making it appear like a formation that's going to be a pass, and then they're running the football successfully.
2nd and 2. And again, this time, Highsmith will not get through a hole. Felton Hayes, 46, and 38, Paul McGowan, are the two defensive players who come across and throw Miami for its first loss of the game.
Here it is from ground level on the far side. Felton Hayes, number 46, comes in and makes a nice stop there, gets help, almost spins off of it.
This will be 3rd and 2 against Bobby Bowden's defense. Testaverde with that stand-up, drops it to Henry over the middle for the first down. As easy as that. Big Vinny Testaverde drops back, has great vision with that size of his, and catches the tight end coming off the line.
Number 2, Charles Henry, had arthroscopic surgery 2 weeks ago. Here he comes right across. There he is wide open. He just slow blocks and breaks across the middle. And Vinny picks him up. They got a devastating passing attack. Gary Stevens has done a marvelous job with him.
And for the first time in some time, Mel Bratton, number 5, is checked in. Testaverde Passes to Irvin on the far sideline, working against Sanders.
Just a quick out pattern.
There is Mel Bratton there.
Well, he's some kind of player, 6'1", 217. I mean, he just launches himself when he gets the ball.
He was injured against West Virginia and was sent to the sideline. And today they are bringing him back for the Hurricanes. 2nd and 6. Highsmith and Bratton are in the eye. Here is Bratton. First time he has carried the ball out to the 38, and Paul McGowan, 38, brings him down.
McGowan's a leading tackler on this football team with 80 involvements coming into this game. Also a candidate for the Butkus Award. He's had a great season. Number 38 there, 6'1", 226, and a junior.
And Brian Blades, he too has missed action because of an injury. Now he checks in for the first time. So the Hurricane offense back at full strength except that tackle. Pressure, and Testaverde is sacked. Coming through was Eric Hayes, number 78, a left defensive tackle out of Tampa, Florida.
6'3" and 283 pounds and just a freshman. Very tough to get to Vinny Testaverde. Number 78 right there really puts the heat on, brings him down and forces a punt. And they love to block punts.
McGee snaps it perfectly to Fiegels, who gets it off. And Sanders lets it go over his head. And the Hurricanes will let that ball roll dead at the 16-yard line. It will not be good field position for Danny McManus. So both teams show a little defense. A 56-yard punt by Fiegels puts Florida State in the hole. We'll be right back. How did they get this sack on Testaverde?
Here's Eric Hayes right now, and he runs his blocker, which is Alekna, comes right around on a stunt, runs his blocker into the center. Watch this. Eric Hayes, a freshman, they get a little stunt in there, and he wipes right off and gets right into the secondary clean right there and makes the sack.
And there was good coverage about 6 yards downfield. Testaverde did not have anybody to go to quickly. He saw Hayes come free, and Jimmy Johnson's Hurricanes are feeling pressure for one of the few times this season. Oklahoma certainly delivered some in their contest here. 1st and 10 for McManus. This is Ross. Ross fumbles the ball. Miami recovered. Tolbert Bain recovered the fumble. George Myra Jr. knocked it free, and number 18 gives the Hurricanes field position.
Just a pitch sweep right here. Ross has got the ball. Looks like pretty good blocking right there. There's the hit. The ball pops out. It's Carter, number 91, that caused the fumble. Nice job by Carter.
Carter and Myra coming together at the ball. Testaverde has it inside the 25 at the 23-yard line. And so George Myra Jr. playing extremely well in the early going here against Florida State. Testaverde communicating with Bratton. He'll throw on 1st down. Plenty of time this time. Throws low inside the 5-yard line. Incomplete, intended for Irvin.
Looks like Irvin is hurt. Looks like he hurt his hand.
Left wrist.
Boy, what an effort that was by Irvin. I thought he was a sensational attempt. Just a quick little turnaround by Vinny. He waits. Now he throws it. He throws the ball low. Right there. Oh, the ball definitely hits the ground. No question about that. But Irvin made a great attempt at it.
Miami yanks Bratton out of the game along with Irvin. Bratton was not sure of the last play. Irvin injured. So Williams is back. And Brett Perriman is at wide receiver. Highsmith right into the heart of the defense. There was no hole there.
Well, they put 3 receivers out to the side. It looked like they were going to blitz. I think Vinny wanted to give it a quick trap in there and pop through there, but the Seminoles were up to it. Good job of defense.
Gerald Nichols the lone returning member of Bobby Bowden's defensive line, is credited with that tackle. This is 3rd and 10 era.
And a big one for the Seminoles. Bobby Bowden did not want this to happen. He felt that if he could just keep error-free, that he could do a job on the Hurricanes, but he can't make these kind of mistakes. He'd love to force them to a field goal here.
Testaverde rolling to the left. Receivers are covered. Coming back the other way. Throws to the end zone. Complete for the touchdown to Highsmith. You give Vinny Testaverde that much time, and he'll shoot the lights out.
I used to run that play in grade school. Just run all over the field. What a job Vinny did. That's why the guy is so great.
Cox nails the extra point. A 23-yard touchdown pass. Testaverde to Highsmith, his 40th career TD pass here.
A little concerned about Vinny's ability to roll out to his left as he does there because of a foot injury, but he shows plenty of mobility here. He's looking downfield, looking. Finally, he spots Alonzo Highsmith in the end zone. There's the throw, right on the mark, right inside the goal line. Great play by Vinny Testaverde.
23-yard touchdown coming after a Florida State fumble. And that 40th career TD pass by Vinny ties the school record held here at Miami by Bernie Kosar. You know what kind of a T-shirt Vinny Testaverde wears at practice and underneath that game jersey? It says Downtown Athletic Club. That's the club that gives the Heisman Trophy. Highsmith could be another first-round draft choice from this team. He can block, he can run, and you just saw him catch passes. And the ball teed up for Seelig. And Florida State will go back to work. Danny McManus, who has looked impressive here so far as a quarterback, must come from behind this time. Here is Ross. He fumbled on that sweep 5 yards deep. He's coming out. There's that famous lateral of Florida State's across field, and they've got an alley. He could go the distance. Dexter Carter is free. Oh, boy. The Seminoles have had that play for years.
You asked Bobby about it yesterday, and he said maybe.
From 5 yards inside the end zone, all I could think of was shades of Oklahoma. Someone's made another mistake. When he got to the 15 and put that arm in the air, I said, what in the world is he doing now? And then it dawned on me.
You and I were thinking exactly the same on it.
A 100-yard return and Schmidt's extra point. Let's take another look.
About 5 yards in the end zone. He's got a good pocket there, good protection. Now he turns and throws the ball to Dexter Carter. And look at this wall he has. Once he hits that sideline, you could see it from up here that no one was going to catch him.
Hey.
Well, we've seen, two plays back to back.
This is like a schoolyard game, and I love it. 100-yard return by Dexter Carter. Well, let's see. Ross has fumbled, and Vinny Testaverde burned Florida State. But now, Ross comes up with a big play for Bobby Bowden. And he's a man respected in the college fraternity
He's got
As being a big game coach, he can beat you on an afternoon like this.
He's taken his team on the road and beaten all the big ones out. He's got 160 wins.
Nobody will go to Tallahassee and play him.
He's beaten all the biggies on the road.
They don't want to see that Indian come out there on war paint and throw that at the 50 and that crowd go crazy up there. Schmidt's kickoff. J.C. Penney. He slipped short of the 20. And there's a big one to the Big Ten today. Ohio State and Iowa. Jim Nantz, what's going on with that one?
Well, Brent, as you know, it's not easy to play at Iowa City either. Now, the Hawkeyes here blitzing on Jim Carsados. His pass blocked by Tyrone Taylor. Caught in the air by Kerry Burt, who returns it for the touchdown. And Iowa is up early. Let's go back to the Brenton era.
I'm surprised that Hayden Fry's got enough healthy bodies. I keep reading the paper about that ambulance pulling up at Iowa. He strikes first. We'll keep you up to date on that one. Here it is, 14 all, and it has been wild and woolly so far. Testaverde straight back. Plenty of time. Complete to Irvin. Hammered at the 39-yard line by Deion Sanders.
Boy, did he hum that ball in there. He has got some kind of arm. He had wonderful protection. Irvin just came down the field, broke over the middle. Tolbert Bain drove off deep. Can't quite see it here. You see the tight end Henry breaking. Now watch this ball come right in between, beyond the linebackers. Sanders comes in and makes the play, but that ball got there quick.
We're in the first quarter, and we've had 4 touchdowns scored here in the Orange Bowl. Testaverde calling the play up at the line, and Highsmith moving Williams over, and there was confusion, and Testaverde uses one of the 3 Hurricane timeouts here in the first half. Let's go down to the sideline while we've got an opportunity and check in with John Dockery. John?
Thank you, Brenton. You just saw Michael Irvin catch that pass from Vinny Testaverde. Before the last touchdown, remember, he hurt his hand. He came off the field. They were trying to put ice on it. Vinny threw the touchdown, and before they could get the ice on Irvin's hand, he ran out to greet Vinny, and then he kept the ice on the old injury for a little while, nothing serious, and he's back in the game. They expect to play, no side effects. Now back to you.
All right, John, so far, Goodyear blimp overhead here in the Orange Bowl. Taking a shot of our scene here this afternoon. That's the Airship Enterprise from Pompano Beach, Florida. And down here on the good Mother Earth, Vinny Testaverde is 7 of 9 for 85 yards and 1 touchdown. Era, I guess from a defensive standpoint, they need to get more pressure on Testaverde, but because he sends so many people out as receivers, it's dangerous to blitz.
I don't know how you can defensively. You just got to try to slow him down as the best you can do.
They run Williams to the 45-yard line. And that was Steve Gabbard, the defensive tackle, wrapping him up.
Bobby Bowden would be very happy if he saw a lot of those running plays, because this Miami team can score quickly. They've got tremendously skilled receivers. They've got a great concept and scheme in their passing attack. They take advantage of what you give them. Tough to even slow down.
Second and 4. There the rush breaks free. Testaverde sacked for the second time. And it was Shelton Thompson, a backup outside linebacker, number 93, from Lakeland, Florida.
All the sacks for this Seminole team come from that spot between Warren and Thompson, which is their rush backer, outside backer. And he got in there and did the job. That position has had 7 sacks, Brent.
It's an 18-yard loss, leaving Testaverde and Miami with a 3rd and 22. Brian Blades and Michael Irvin are to the left. Fred Perriman is to the right, and we've run out of time here in the first quarter. 4 touchdowns posted in the first 15 minutes. 14 all. We'll be right back after this message and a word from your local stations. For Vinny Testaverde, fortunate that they had last week off. He injured his foot in that game against Cincinnati. And it concerns the Hurricanes as to his mobility here this afternoon. Straight back drop, running out of pressure, and he is taken down for the third time here this afternoon. And that was the nose man, Thomas Hart, number 58, bringing him in on Testaverde. So the pass rush doing the job. Watch Hart fight off the man and then make the stop on Testaverde right there.
Good coverage that time, Brent.
And he was down, shaken up. Now he is wearing a special guard on that injured right foot, and you can see him favoring it a touch as he comes to the sideline. So there is something to the fact that he is slowed up today. One high top and one low cut shoe and a special protective pad over the instep. Fiegels booms a punt to Sanders. Fields it at the 30. Looking for an alley. The kicking game gives the Seminoles field position inside the 40-yard line. Fullington brought him down, and Fullington might have saved a touchdown. That was a 44-yard punt with a 30-yard return by Sanders.
Well, Bobby Bowden says Deion Sanders is the best athlete on the football team. He's got the speed. He could be wide receiver or running back, and certainly demonstrates that on. Look at him make the moves in here. Picks the daylight perfectly. Comes to the wall. Gets the corner turn. Watch him make this little move here, try to fake out the defender. Look at this. At the ball like a loaf of bread.
I thought he was going to pass it left hand. First and 10. McManus using Victor Floyd for the first time. Now there's a story. Number 27 checks in for the first time this afternoon. He is the starting tailback for this team, but did not start this game because he was injured. Sammy Smith was knocked out of action early on with a shoulder injury, and the third string tailback, Keith Ross, tried to carry the load, and he fumbled to set up a Miami touchdown. Now it will be Floyd, and this is a 2nd and 9 for the Noles. Complete to the 35-yard line. McManus hits Floyd coming out of the backfield, and McCutcheon makes the stop. Let's go down to John Dockery for a report on Vinny. John?
Thank you, Brent. You see Vinny behind me. They're looking at his right foot, the same one you were talking about with the pad on top of the instep. Apparently, he just sprained it when he was tackled, but he's okay. He was just on the phone with the offensive coordinator. They say he'll be back.
Jerry Stevens, the offensive coordinator, upstairs on the telephone. Split backs. McManus throws complete to the 30-yard line. Coming back to O'Malley, his tight end. Boy, this is a well-conceived offensive game plan by Bobby Bowden. We haven't seen Oklahoma or anybody move the ball on the Canes like this.
You see O'Malley just comes right into the seam right there. McManus puts it right in his hands, but he's just short to come up with 4th down and a foot.
That is the backup quarterback, Jeff Toretta, throwing on the sideline just in case Jimmy Johnson needs it. This is 4th and inches. First down to the 25-yard line. Williams, number 49, carries the ball for Florida State. He had come off the bench. That's Dane Williams out of Fruitland Park, Florida.
He's 6'1", 225, and a sophomore. He's carried the ball 17 times for 89 yards, which is a 5.2 average. He's a strong runner, a power runner, and that's what he's put in there on that 4th and short.
Floyd still at tailback. Williams stays in at fullback. McManus to throw. Holloman, it's incomplete. Great coverage by Bain, number 18, Tolbert Bain, coming over, and he ripped Darren Holloman down.
Great job by Tolbert. Had a lot of coverage there. Watch him move to the ball as it's in the air. Right there, knocks that ball free before Holloman can get it.
This is 2nd and 10. McManus waiting for the play to come in from the sideline.
Well, Brent, I've been impressed with McManus. He's got a quick release, he's got a good arm, and he's been very accurate.
Well, Bowden says the kids respond well to his leadership. We've got a timeout. So far, McManus is 7 of 13 for 80 yards. We'll be right back. Well, Era and I will be participating in a 16-year tradition later. We'll select a Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the Game from each of these schools, and Chevrolet will donate a $1,000 scholarship to the General Scholarship Fund of both Miami and Florida State. Florida State and Miami are tied at 14. We have 11:56 to go in the first half. This is 2nd and 10 for Florida State. They have the ball at the Miami 25-yard line. Deflected and caught by Floyd, and then he drops it and it goes out of bounds. Greg Mark, number 94, got a hand on the ball.
It was a dangerous throw. There were a lot of defenders in the area. Just a quick little, just takes two steps and a drop, and there's the throw. As he comes out, look, the ball is deflected. Very fortunately, he catches the ball. McManus is not very tall, and he could have a lot of balls knocked down.
The one man they have to be concerned with is number 98, Jerome Brown. And Jason Kuipers knocked his helmet off that time. He took it to the big fella a little bit, didn't he? The big fella will be back. It's 3rd and 6, and Floyd runs to the 20-yard line. That will leave them about 5 yards short of the first down. Greg Mark wraps him up, and you would think that Schmidt would come onto the field, and he is. Florida State will attempt a field goal.
Brent, that was a great play by Greg Mark because he came from the right end position. Otherwise, that was going to be a positive yardage play. But he closed down and shut it off. He's going to force his field goal.
So coming up at the half, the Prudential College Football Report. We'll have all the scores and highlights with Jim Nance. Here is Schmidt set to attempt a field goal. It would be 36 yards. Long enough. He's got it. He has put the Seminoles up by 3, 17-14, with 11 minutes to go. Bobby Bowden continuing to do the job here against the #1 ranked team in the country. We'll be right back. Schmidt to kick it off for the Seminoles. They lead it 17-14. J.C. Penney from the 5. There's an alley.
Oh, what a
Great
save.
tackle. Touchdown saving tackle by number 28 of Florida State. Dedrick Dodge brought him down. Era, let's go back because Miami could have scored defensively here.
Number 94, Greg Mark. I said it was a dangerous throw. Watches McManus releases the ball, and Greg will be right there. He would have been off to the races. Look at here. Right in his hands. Comes right out of his hands. Floyd catches it, but it was a very dangerous throw.
And Testaverde returning to the game. But that right foot injured instep becoming a problem for them. They run on first down into the heart of the Seminole defense, and John Eford and Odell Haggins, 52 and 53 backup linebackers, make the stop. And that is Sammy Smith, who was injured on the first series of the game.
2nd and 7 at the Hurricane.
They have put the pads back on. He's obviously going to play with a little pain. You could tell by the wince. This is 2nd and 7 for the Canes. And Williams will go nowhere. Steve Gabbard, 76. He was the first man in. Era, the defense is playing better for the Seminoles.
Right. Also, it's an indication that they don't want Testaverde throwing all the time. They're probably trying to get the ball on the ground. And you can see the defense just swarm in on Williams, number 24. And I would think that it'll be interesting to see how well Testaverde scrambles because they have a passing down play here.
Florida State substituting 4 and 5 men a play because of the intense heat here this afternoon. On 3rd down, Testaverde over the middle, and he just threw the ball out of the grasp of Williams, who had released and was wide open, and Vinny knows he should have hit him.
The defense was the double zone that I had talked about at the top of the show. Man-to-man coverage underneath with 2 deep, and he breaks away from his receiver. This is one of the few that you'll see Vinny overthrow. But he got a lot of pressure right there from Nichols, number 79.
Fiegels will punt it. McGee snaps it to him. Ooh. And he puts one high, and Sanders signals for the fair catch at the 21-yard line. 9.5 minutes to go here in the first half. There's a flag down. It was a 40-yard punt. Mentioned the snapper Pegues for Florida State a couple of times. That's because the regular snapper Brian Smith is injured. So Pegues, who normally snaps on extra points and field goals, has been pressed into duty here this afternoon. And they were very concerned. Smith broke a hand in practice 2 days ago. Pegues was out early, about an hour before game time, practicing his snaps with one of the assistant coaches.
Looked like Jeff Fiegels was putting Showtime on that time. He made a pretty good attempt to indicate that he had been rough, but he wasn't touched.
Well, they're going to bring it back, and Pegues will snap it all over again. Now, Ara, Pegues is what they refer to as a true freshman, unlike a redshirted variety. So this can be huge pressure on a center. And if the defense is aware that the regular has suffered a broken hand, they will line up a couple of men on his nose and make sure that he feels it, hoping that they get a bad snap late in this game. There's the bad snap. Blocked punt by Florida State. The 10-yard line. It's touched first and then downed at the 1-yard line. And the bad snap comes into Hontham as Alfonso Williams. I'm not sure he can advance it after he first touched the ball there.
That's a penalty. He cannot advance the ball. He pushed the ball forward with his hand. It's going to come back. Not the punt, of course. They'll recover the fumble. The infraction was when he used his hand to push the ball forward. He should have picked it up and gone into the end zone.
Well, I certainly did not mean to jinx the freshman snapper by telling that story, but that is what has concerned Jimmy Johnson for the last 48 hours. And he said, I will do anything to avoid punting. There was very little he could do in that particular situation. He wasn't close enough to gamble on it.
And Florida State blocked 2 punts last year against Miami.
Now, there was Fiegels fielding the ball that was already on the ground, and I mean Williams just busted through on him. And I'll tell you what this will remind pro fans of. A fellow by the name of Dave Casper with the Oakland Raiders dribbling the ball into the end zone. That's before they changed the rule in the NFL. Illegal in college football, but Florida State will get it there. Just the far side of the 20-yard line, first down for Danny McManus, and the Seminoles playing well.
They sure are, but you forgot that Dave Casper was from Notre Dame.
Oh, I'm sorry, Aaron. You taught him how to do that, right? Oh, he was a good tight end, too. One of the best I ever saw.
You know, these two teams have exchanged kick blocks. Miami has done the job on other teams this year with 7. Florida State had 3 coming into this game. That's their 4th. And Jimmy Johnson right there, as you pointed out, Brent, was really concerned about the center. They had lost their starting snapper, and that is a very, very important position.
Now, there's a young man coming off an injury, Mike Pigza, who had a colon operated on earlier this season. He was in pads for the first time the other day, but it would have to be a severe emergency to press him into duty, because by now Florida State realizes Miami has a problem, and they will start to apply pressure on that center the rest of the way. On first down, they run the fullback right straight ahead. Jerome Brown, 98, getting a lick in. And we have seen a lot of Dane Williams here this afternoon, number 49. He continues to play fullback instead of Tanner Holloman for the Seminoles. On that no gain, this is 2nd and 9, and you would think that McManus might be putting it up here, Eric.
I'm sure that he will. Whether he does it off a run action or off the pocket, they like to run the pocket pass from this formation. Quick screen.
And the fullback can't hold on. Williams dropped the swing that time.
Oh, that thing was set up, too. Beautifully executed. Everything, of course, but the catching of the football. I know that Bobby over there was licking his chops when he saw the line set up out there in front. That was going to be a big play.
from the Big Ten, the Fighting Illini with a field goal. Nothing would surprise you after what happened last week. Nebraska losing to Colorado, and we'll get the insight on how that game is going on the Prudential College Football Report at halftime. Here is the third down for the Seminoles. And Floyd brought down around the 19 by Danny Stubbs, number 96.
Well, they tried to catch him in a blitz with a little draw. It was a good call, but Miami was up to it this time. They reacted to the draw play. Stubbs coming in, Myra, number 45, cleaning up.
So Schmidt will attempt a field goal. He represents the difference right now in a 17-14 lead by Florida State over the #1 ranked team in the country, the Hurricanes of Miami. This is a 35-yarder by Schmidt. It's a fake. McManus. He's running, and he's short of the first down. He did not get there. Tolbert Bain, 18, up to stop him. Florida State closed its practice session for the first time this season all week long in Tallahassee. Now we know why. Every 15 minutes, Bobby Bowden rehearsed another gadget play, but this one comes up a yard short, and the Hurricanes get it back at the 11-yard line as Tolbert Bain makes the tackle that prevents Florida State from recording a first down with McManus, the holder, on the roll, and he may have been injured on the play. That can be a terribly costly play now for Florida State, as the quarterback not only was stopped short, but he was hurt on the play. And Testaverde goes back to work. Time. Going for Urban. Beautiful interception by Sanders. Coming back. He is inside the 20-yard line. What a catch he made. No wonder Bobby was thinking about switching him over to receiver earlier this year.
Irwin had him beat. Absolutely had him beat. I could see it from up here. Sanders made a tremendous recovery, came over the shoulder. You'll see a pump fake right there, and he beat him. Now Testaverde will put it up, and it looked like he had it. Watch Sanders come over the top, make the interception. What a great defensive play. Here's the view from the ground level. Look at him go up and pick that ball off. That is a sensational play.
Era, I think Florida State will have to use a timeout. They've got a problem with Danny McManus, and they've just told Peter Tom Willis, number 4, to get a hat on. So McManus was injured on the fake field goal. We'll take a break. We'll get it all sorted out. We'll be right back. The backup quarterback, Peter Tom Willis, on the field for Florida State. The 6'3" freshman out of Morris, Alabama. His numbers on the season look like that. Now here is the fake field goal. Watch McManus come up running off the play. No question it was a design fake, even though the snap was a touch low, because Schmidt followed on through with the kick. He then turned the corner, and when he was tackled short of the first down, there was an injury suffered. We have John Dockery over there, and we'll find out what the problem is with McManus here shortly. Willis's first snap. And it's Floyd powering down to the 17-yard line. Gary Mahan. Let's go to John Dockery now, John.
Brent, I don't know if you can see it or not, but behind me, that's Danny McManus going into the locker room. He hurt his right thumb. The thumb was actually quivering when he came off the field after the fake field goal. They're taking him in. They don't know whether he'll return at all today. Now back to you.
So 2 players lost here in the first half. McManus, the starting quarterback, and Smith, the starting tailback. Smith getting suited up a short time ago. Figures to be returning. Right now it is Floyd and Williams carrying the load behind Willis. There was movement, fumble, Miami jumps on the ball. But there's a penalty marker down. There was movement, and Florida State could have been offside. If the whistle did not sound, Miami's Randy Shannon will be credited with a recovered fumble. Let's see.
problems you have when you lose your starting quarterback. Let's see what it looks like. The center was late. The offensive line was firing it out. It appears to me it isn't Willis's fault as much as it is the center Hensley.
The play had been blown
The
down.
offense at the dead ball situation, a 5-yard penalty, and it's second down.
The whistle had blown.
Era, when you come in like this in an injury situation, can you rehearse a couple of snaps back in the huddle? Is that legal in football?
Yes, he could have rehearsed. He could have asked for the time. No problem.
2nd and 15. Willis pulls out. He's under pressure. He won't get it off. He's sacked at the 30 by Dan Stubbs.
That's the very thing that Bobby Bowden said. McManus has a sense about him. You don't sack him. When you see Willis come in here, the first pass attempt, boom, he's sacked by Stubbs, number 13 for Stubbs.
Oh, how Bobby Bowden would love to have that fake field goal called back again. Not only did the fake come up short of the first down, but he has lost his quarterback because of an injury. It is 3rd and 23. Willis will put it up for the first time. No, he will not. They'll run Floyd into an alley on the right side. Did not get back to the original line of scrimmage, but that's close enough to allow Schmidt to attempt a field goal, and he will have a new holder.
Yeah, that's the other thing that you lose. You lose your holder, you lose your quarterback. It's a very serious injury for him.
Now, the punter has come out, Lewis Berry, and he will put it down. Frequently in practice, the punter winds up holding a lot. It's good. A 38-yard field goal by Schmidt. And Florida State leads Miami 20-14. We'll be right back in the Orange Bowl. Captain Richard Daniels from Burbank, California is up in our airship Enterprise, the Goodyear blimp, with that view of the Orange Bowl on a beautiful day here in South Florida. 85 degrees. Been a little humid here the last week, but it has been glorious weather to get outside and play a little golf or watch a little football. And J.C. Penney goes in to field that kickoff by Schmidt. He'll down it for the touchback. It'll come out to the 20-yard line. Vinny Testaverde brings the Hurricane offense out. Speaking of offense, we'll have some coming up. The Los Angeles Lakers and the Houston Rockets. Dick Stockton and Tommy Heinsohn will be down in Houston. Ralph Sampson not playing for the Rockets because of an injury. He'll miss 4 games at least. He goes on the 4-game injured reserve list in the NBA. Rockets eliminated the Lakers. So you'll see a rematch of the Western Conference Final after this game. What a wild one we've had so far. Ball is at the 20-yard line. The #1 ranked team in the country down by 6. Testaverde hands off, and Bratton gets a first down to the 32-yard line.
Well, Brent, the Hurricanes made a couple of mistakes with the interception, but they only gave a field goal. And of course, here you see Bratton with a big hole going over the left side and picks up a first down, but a touchdown and an extra point puts them right back in front again, and they are explosive.
On a first down, they'll run Bratton. Great block by Alonzo Highsmith. Freed him out to the 37. One of the reasons why the NFL drools about the prospect of Alonzo Highsmith is his blocking ability when he sets up the tailback. And that time, number 30 was the lead blocker. Take a look at how they come out of a split back formation. Highsmith seeks that man right there, and he opened the way for Bratton. And they make it 2nd and 5. And they continue to run Bratton. They are close to a first down. Hayes, 78, bringing him down. The pressure is on the shoulders of that young man, Willis, the freshman from Alabama. Testaverde had thrown 115 straight passes without an interception before Sanders made a spectacular catch to set up that field goal a short time ago. The play being delivered from the sideline. up over the top for the first down. It's to the 45-yard line. First and 10, 3:38. And what Johnson wants here is a ball control drive. No mistakes. Get down, get the 1-point lead, and get to the locker room.
Bratton really goes over the top to pick up the first down.
Irvin is the wingback. So far it has been all number 5 in this drive. Here he comes again. Out to the 49-yard line. Mayhew and McGowan, 38. Smack him down right there. The clock continuing to run down toward the 3-minute mark as Michigan moves ahead and Ohio State has tied up Iowa. Heavy substituting by that Florida State defensive unit.
Miami has not been able to run against the Hurricanes in the last 3 or 4 years. And I think they're trying to establish a running game to set up their run action passes. Here he comes to the pocket this time.
A lot of time. Incomplete. Irvin was covered.
Then he wants interference called.
Greg Newell was the defender all over Michael Irvin that time.
Benny thought there was interference. He delivered the ball, but he delivered it high and felt that he had been bumped. But the officials say no penalty.
It's hard to remember all of the things that have happened so far in this game. So much has gone on. We've had a 100-yard touchdown off a trick play on a kickoff return. A starting quarterback knocked out on a fake field goal. The Heisman Trophy favorite back to throw it again, and Brian Blades can't hold on, and the ball was thrown high. Now, how'd the Buckeyes get that touchdown? Let's go to Jim Nantz in New York. Jim?
Well, Brent, they got it via Chris Carter. You know, there may not be a better receiver in college football than Chris Carter of the Buckeyes. Watch him here. Take the pass from Carsados, then shake off the defender Ken Sims of the Hawkeyes. And there goes Carter, 72 yards for his 7th touchdown of the season. More scores and highlights coming up at the half, Brent.
Oh, he's a tremendous football player, Jim. His brother was an NBA player. And Chris was a great high school player. So we've got a punt here by Hurricanes. Pegues delivered the snap that time. Eagles gets it off. Sanders fair catching at the 16-yard line. 2:24, and you've got to be impressed with the Florida State defense. They held Miami at midfield. It's a 35-yard punt, and now Willis will attempt to get something going. Along with Ara Parsegan and John Dockery, I'm Brent Musburger. The Orange Bowl in Miami, Florida is the scene. The Hurricanes, who are #1 after reeling off 7 straight wins, trail Florida State by 6, 20-14. But Danny McManus, the Seminoles quarterback, knocked out of the game because of an injured thumb, taken away to the locker room, and the freshman, Peter Tom Willis, bringing the Seminoles to the line of scrimmage. Running Floyd. It's been wild. We had 4 touchdowns scored in the first quarter. We'll run through them for you. Holloman, the fullback, put the Seminoles ahead 7-0. That's after Florida State took the opening kickoff. Miami came right back, and Williams angled off to the left flag and tied it at 7. Then Testaverde went 23 yards to Highsmith on a schoolyard play, and then Carter 100 yards off the lateral on the kickoff return tied it at 14. 2 field goals later, and you are up to date. It's 2nd and 12. Here is Floyd, and it is awfully hard to run when they do not respect the passing ability of the quarterback. Bobby Bowden has had a severe disadvantage because the Canes do not expect him to put it up right now.
Very unlike and uncharacteristic of Bobby Bowden to run the ball, but obviously he is concerned about his quarterback. Let's see whether or not he puts it up with Willis here on this 3rd down play. With this lead, I'm sure that he doesn't want to take any unusual chances down in his own territory because he doesn't want to give a cheap score. He's got the lead. He would love to hold it going in at halftime. Psychologically, it would be a big boost.
He has 8 yards to go here for the first down. Puts up his first pass. Great grab on that far sideline. What a catch by Terry Anthony, a freshman from Daytona Beach. An 18-yard gain.
That was some kind of catch. What? An end zone shot. Watch him reach up. He just lays the ball over the defenders. Look at him come up with one hand there. Great job. Beautiful.
And then he holds on to the ball. Here's the lick that he takes on that far sideline. Up in the air, and Benny Blades was over there working on him. Now it's first down. Willis with some confidence rolls, and he hits the fullback coming out of the backfield, and he gets a first down near midfield.
Beautiful bootleg play with a fullback breaking into the flat. He had him wide open, and he delivered. Those two plays should give him a great deal of confidence.
Dane Williams was on the receiving end, and with 1:12, Willis has moved the ball for Bobby Bowden out to midfield. I'll tell you who else will get restored confidence will be the coaching staff. Now they'll give him some plays with which to operate.
That's right.
And we get word that George Myra, the middle linebacker of the Hurricanes, has left because of an injured knee. He's receiving treatment. The center checks with Willis at the line. First down. They run him to the right and throw incomplete. Overthrew his tight end O'Malley, and Winston Moss, 99, drew coverage.
I think he should have stayed in the pocket that time. He rolled outside, attempted to roll outside to contain, and the blocking was from the inside out rather than from the outside in.
Second and 10 with 1:07 to go.
He'd been better served to stay closer into the pocket on that rollout.
The tailback inside the 45-yard line. Let's find out more on McManus, and here is John Dockery. John?
Thank you, Brent. I was just in the locker room. They took preliminary x-rays. Does not show a break in his right thumb, but there's an awful lot of swelling. It's unlikely that he'll return in the second half. Now back to you.
A tough break for the Seminoles. Danny McManus, who had the show on the road. So here's the freshman. It's Willis's game, and at 3rd and 3, he just puts it up in the air, and Blades is back. He could have made a fair catch on that ball. Down the sideline, out of bounds near midfield. That reminded me of Randall Cunningham on that trick play that the Eagles used this year. Throw the ball up in the air and hope they can play a little volleyball.
Nobody got down there to be anywhere near it. And you see the ball is just thrown up in the air.
Well, they have given Testaverde a last at bat here in the first half with 21 seconds. A 3-deep coverage by the Seminoles. There's the best defense against the pass. Testaverde on his back, signaling timeout. Great play by Thomas Harp. Well, Florida State is located in Tallahassee. And let's take a look up close at that fine school.
Faculty members at Florida State University have been recognized with such honors as the Nobel, the Pulitzer, and membership in the National Academy of Sciences. Known nationally and internationally for research, service, and publishing, FSU faculty exert their greatest impact teaching the university's 22,500 students. Thanks to this educational foundation, Florida State graduates excel in virtually every walk of life. An example of quality making a difference. The faculty of Florida State University.
Miami, crossroads of the Americas. In this dynamic community is a center of higher education where students share in the excitement of an institution that is dedicated to pushing the leading edge in the pursuit of knowledge. Celebrating its 60th year, the University of Miami retains the pioneering spirit that led it to become one of the largest research institutions in the Southeast, in medicine, in marine science, in virtually every aspect of life. The University of Miami is changing the way we look at the world.
sack registered by Florida State against Vinny Testaverde. A year ago in Tallahassee, they sacked him 7 times, but he got in the last lick. He threw 2 fourth-quarter touchdown passes to beat the Seminoles. A deep drop. Under heavy fire again. There was no receiver there. A penalty flag goes down by the referee in behind the play. You bet. That's a good call, Aaron.
Yep. There was no receiver in the area. He would have been sacked. And I definitely think that that foot is bothering him, Brent. First of all, the play calling, which has been a lot of running plays. Here he is trying to get the ball up. He's getting pressured. He cannot scramble like he did earlier in the game. That foot is definitely hurting him.
The last time Vinny Testaverde was this frustrated in a football game was the Sugar Bowl in New Year's Day by Tennessee. They came with one blitz after another, and because of the crowd noise, it was hard for Testaverde to call his audibles at the line of scrimmage. Now, a year ago against Colorado State, he came up with an off game following an off week. Now you put all those things together. An off week, an injured instep, and a defense that is starting to frustrate him, and you can understand why Florida State has a shot for the upset of the season. I say a shot because I have such great respect for the running game that Jimmy Johnson can bring in underneath Testaverde too. Now, in his last 5 passes, 4 have been incomplete, and there's been 1 interception. And Earl Bruce continues to be able to score against Hayden Fry. He comes back with 2 touchdowns, and we'll get the full update on that game from Jim Nance on the Prudential College Football Report at halftime. Here we've got a timeout being called by Florida State at the 5-second mark.
Well, this has been quite a first half, and I'm sure that Bobby Bowden, who we see is back right there, is very pleased with what has taken place, with the exception of the injuries and the loss of his quarterback. He's making some notes so he can go in at halftime and alert his team to some of the things he's going to expect and want in the second half.
Well, tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Time on the NFL Today, we'll take a look at violence in football and the giant dilemma. That's at 12:30 Eastern Time on CBS on the NFL Today. Here we are taking a look at the last 5 seconds of this game. And you've got a good one coming your way tomorrow. Dallas against the Giants and Atlanta against New England. The Falcons now face the heart of a very tough schedule. Some of you will watch Philadelphia or Minnesota take on the Washington Redskins. That's the lineup tomorrow on the NFL on CBS. Here, Ara, we have had about as much action as we've had in a college game all season long. I wasn't sure that we'd see one any better than the Oklahoma game, but so far this one has been a dandy.
2 outstanding ball clubs. 3-man rush on the part of the Seminoles, and they run it.
Time will run out. Well, if there was any point when Florida State started to believe in itself, it came after Miami moved ahead 14-7. Then came the kickoff to Ross. He hesitated momentarily, checked cross field, came out to the 10-yard line, threw it. And on the lateral, Carter picked it up. The blocking wall had formed. And he raced 100 yards for the touchdown and allowed Florida State to tie it. 2 field goals later, they lead it. We'll be right back after this message and a word from your local station.
CBS Sports presents the Prudential College Football Report. Sponsored by the Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and other financial services. The Prudential, the rock. It's strong. It's on the move. It's bigger than life.
Jim Nance in New York. Welcome back to the Prudential College Football Report. So Florida State leading over the #1 team thanks to 2 reasons: the pressure on Vinny Testaverde in the first half and special teams for the Seminoles. Let's check other active top 10 scores. Michigan has a touchdown, 13-yard run by Jim Harbaugh, the lead over Illinois. Auburn and Florida, that game has just started, and the Tigers have a quick touchdown at Florida Field. Alabama on the ground today, almost 300 yards in the first half. Mike Shula has had to attempt only 2 passes. Bobby Bobby Humphries picked up 130 yards of that total on the ground. There's one touchdown, and they lead it 21-3 late in the second quarter. Now, other top 10 teams playing later today. Penn State and West Virginia. Washington, Arizona State is the real big one. And in the Southwest Conference, Texas A&M has a game against SMU that will be very important in the Southwest Conference. In the Midwest, Ohio State and Iowa. The Buckeyes have beaten the Hawkeyes 18 of the last 19 times. Ohio State has come back to score the last 2 touchdowns. Here's the one that's put them in front. George Cooper from 9 yards, and they lead it there in the second quarter, 14-7. Indiana has a freshman tailback by the name of Anthony Thompson with 20 carries, 149 yards, and that's only in the second quarter as they're topping Wisconsin. Colorado, the team that last week upset Nebraska, they are trailing today against Oklahoma State, 14-3. And still ahead of us here, Dick Stockton and Tom Heinsohn will preview today's big NBA opener. We'll show you also a profile in courage, the Bob Waters story, and of course more scores and highlights as the Prudential College Football Report continues here on CBS with results from around the country. Gymnasts back in New York, continuing on now with more scores. Boston College and Army, that game has just started, and the Eagles have scored on their opening drive. They've also won 3 in a row, looking for 4. Pittsburgh over Syracuse. Look at that 10-point total. That is 2 field goals and 2 safeties for the Panthers. Now, their fine quarterback, John Kangemi, was injured. He sat out a couple of series, but he's back in there now. Pitt will need him because next week they will host Miami. Here's one of the safeties for Pittsburgh, a block punt. They could not come up with a recovery in the end zone. It went out of the end zone for the safety, and Pitt leads over Syracuse at halftime. Columbia has lost 27 games in a row, but they lead Villanova now with 2 quick touchdowns in the first quarter. In the South, the Wolfpack leading over South Carolina as Bobby Crumpler has 2 rushing touchdowns for the Wolfpack. North Carolina over Maryland in the second quarter. That has now gone to halftime. Clemson and Wake Forest. Clemson scored on an 88-yard touchdown run by Terrence Flagler, but they still trail second quarter. Duke and Georgia Tech. Duke winning on the road. Virginia and William and Mary tied up now as they start the third quarter. Georgia hosting Richmond today, and the Bulldogs lead it in the second. Kentucky and Virginia Tech, no scores second quarter. In the Southwest, the smallest man in college football, Tyrone Thurman, 96-yard punt return. A 96-yard punt return for a touchdown for Tech. The Texas Tech team always gives the Longhorns a trouble in Lubbock, and they're leading right now in the second quarter 14-0. Now in the Pac-10, Arizona State and Washington will battle tonight again. This is a very important game, a battle between 2 top 10 teams, and a game that will go a long way in deciding who will represent the Pac-10 in the Rose Bowl.
The road to the Rose Bowl, you know, has gone through Bruin land, Trojan land, now it's Husky land, so we got our work cut out for us.
Last year, Arizona State did the cutting, and Washington was the victim. And when the Sun Devils finished wiping up the Huskies, Coach Cooper found yet another use for his towel.
It's inspirational, you know, when you have a coach like Coach Cooper that really fires up the crowd and gets the team jacked up also because he's so high-spirited, you know, and that keeps us all in the ball game and makes us want to do well.
It appeared last year to be a physical difference. It seemed like they were bigger and stronger and faster than we were, and we could have been a lot more competitive, but now hopefully we are bigger and stronger and faster.
The Huskies appear to be the most talented team in the Pac-10 this year. Their 6-1 record includes an impressive thumping of Ohio State. Tonight they face a big test.
Our team is going to have to realize that we're playing Arizona State, and we got to go down to Arizona. It's going to be hot. It's going to be a night game, and it's going to be a lot of noise.
I'll have the towel in my back pocket as I do for every ball game. I won't hesitate to wave it, but I won't have to wave it this year. Our fans are pumped up. They're ready.
All right, updating Ohio State and Iowa. The Buckeyes have recovered a fumble for a touchdown, and they now lead the Hawkeyes by 2 touchdowns in the second quarter. Turning now to the NBA, coming up later here on CBS, the Lakers open in Houston against the Rockets. And with more on that game, let's go out to Dick Stockton. Dick?
All right, Jim, the joint will be jumping at the Summit. A capacity crowd. All the games are sold out as the Los Angeles Lakers, who have been to the NBA Finals every year since 1981 until they were beaten by the Houston Rockets in a 5-game victory for Houston, and the 2 teams will open up the season premiere on CBS coming up after your game. And, of course, it'll be a battle between 2 of the great centers in the game. One is an aging veteran and one young and getting better. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar starts his 18th campaign at age 39. He can still do that inside. But But the Houston Rockets boast a man who many people feel is already the best in the league. He's a shot blocker, a scorer, rebounder, so strong, and that is Akeem Olajuwon of the Houston Rockets. It's the opening game of the year. Tom Heinsohn will join me, and we hope all of you join us as well. Coming up, back to you, Jim.
All right, thank you, Dick. We'll look forward to that. And when we come back, we'll take you for a visit with Bob Waters, the coach of Western Carolina, and a man who's trying to defy the longest of odds against him. You're watching the Prudential College Football Report here on CBS, where the scores continue from around the country. All right, now another update. Illinois and Michigan tied 10-10 in the second quarter. That Ohio State-Iowa score 21-7 once more. Let's show you the touchdown for the Buckeyes, how unusual it was. Here's the fumble picked up in the air. That's the only way you can advance a fumble, of course, in college football. And Greg Rogan runs it in 31 yards for the Buckeyes. And again, they have won 18 of the last 19 matchups against the Hawkeyes. Now, down at Western Carolina, Coach Bob Waters continues to exhibit unusual strength and courage. 2 years ago, he learned that his body was being ravaged by a cruel and incurable disease called ALS. Yet he carries on with the same type of personal grace that was the hallmark of the athlete for whom the disease is called.
I might have been given a bad break, but I've got an awful lot to live for. I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I don't consider myself lucky to have his disease. I want to make it clear. I would rather be recognized in a different way if I had a choice. I wouldn't pick this one.
If he had his choice, perhaps he'd be recognized as a former quarterback with the 49ers, who, although overshadowed by Y.A. Tittle and John Brody, was actually the first to run the shotgun offense in the NFL. And when his playing days were over, he began a new career as head coach at Western Carolina. There in 1983, Waters led the Catamounts to the Division I AA championship game. It was also about that time that he began to notice a troubling loss of strength in his upper body.
I played tennis quite a bit, and I couldn't seem to get much zip on the ball. I played golf. I couldn't seem to get it out as far as I did 5 years ago, 6, 7 years ago. But I really didn't think much about it. I just thought it was age.
But it wasn't age that was catching up to him. It was amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, better known as Lou Gehrig's disease. And while his body slowly deteriorates from this crippling killer, he continues to coach football on the field that bears his name.
And no one admires him more than the man who knows what this disease does.
It's a tough disease. It's tough to handle your own mortality anyway, but it's even tougher to handle it when you're so used to accomplishing so much with your body as many football players have. But the mind and the intellect is spared, and that's one of the saving graces in this disease, and it is for Coach Waters as well.
The coach gets by with a little help from his friends, the faculty, the assistant coaches, even his players. But most of all, he draws strength from his family.
We realized that if he were to have a disease as serious as ALS, and we knew that there was a time limit on his life, that we would do all the good things that we could before it was over, and we would never give up hope.
At one point, I got to where every time I would talk about it or think about it, I would get teary. So finally, I decided I'm just going to take myself out of sad and teary situations.
Coaching takes his mind off his health, but his son and the other players find it hard to take their minds off their coach.
We're all hoping that something's going to come up and it's going to coach for the next 20 years. But that might not be possible. That's what we're all hoping for.
Things we take for granted, he has to struggle with. And you look over at him during preseason, and it kind of peps you up. You know, the man's out here giving his all. Why can't we give our all?
Rather than turn his back on life, Bob Waters looks ahead.
I want to be just like everybody else, have grandchildren and all those kind of things. I want to look forward to the future and the good things that can happen.
And all of us wish him many, many good things. This is the Prudential College Football Report on CBS.
The Prudential College Football Report has been sponsored by The Prudential, offering a full range of insurance and other financial services. The Prudential, the rock. It's strong, it's on the move, it's bigger than life.
The Orange Bowl, which has been the scene of so many memorable football games, both college and pro through the years, and we may be sitting through another one here. Hello again, everybody. I'm Brent Musburger, along with Era Parsegan. And, Era, what about Vinny Testaverde here so far?
Well, you can see that the numbers, as we pop them up here, 7 of 14, 85 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. And there's no question that he's injured. You look at the second quarter there, he has not completed a pass, Brent.
Now, early on, he was fairly mobile. Here he is buying himself a lot of time, and he gets the job done.
Yeah, he was very agile here. He scrambled out. You can see here that he moves around well. Highsmith, Alonzo Highsmith, finally works open, and you'll see Vinny spots him. This is after all this running. He was not able to do that after that play.
Now, how and where did he get injured, Eric? Can you show us the defense here?
Yes, Brent. We were talking about the double zone earlier in the telecast. These two deep people are zoning off. Now, these people locked on man-to-man on all these receivers here underneath. They covered them so well that Vinny could not find anybody, and this is the play that he re-injured his foot on. You'll see the coverage is excellent. They're chasing one-on-one right down the field. Everybody, the deep safety people are covering. Vinny cannot find anyone open. And, of course, he finally is sacked, and that's where he hurt his foot.
1 of 4 sacks, and it was after that when we began to notice that he lacked mobility. And if you've watched Vinny Testaverde the last couple of years, you know that one of his strengths as a quarterback is his ability to get away from a rush like that. Now, Era, the other side of the story, though, a terribly bad break for Bobby Bowden over Danny McManus.
It really was. When he injured his thumb, you can see he was 8 for 15 before he got hurt for 84 yards, and he had to leave the game. And this was a trick play by Bobby Bowden on a 4th down situation. Watch here as they fake the field goal. McManus rolls out. He's outside the contain. He should have thrown the ball right there to Williams, number 49. He doesn't. He elects to run the ball right there. There's the helmet right in on that thumb, and it looks like it's a pretty severely injury that's going to keep him from playing in the second half.
So they've got a freshman who will step in there, and we'll see how he does. He threw one very bad pass that resulted in an interception here, but because of 2 field goals, Florida State leading Miami. And we will be back with the second half kickoff right after this message and a word from your local stations. Florida State to kick it off to start the second half. Derek Schmidt with the ball teed up, and J.C. Penney is deep for the number 1 ranked team in the nation. Penney looking for an alley. Bangs to the 24-yard line. And let's go downstairs to John Dockery. John?
Thank you, Brent. A couple of notes here. Vinny Testaverde was the last one out of the locker room for the Hurricanes. First pass he threw in warm-ups, hit the ground, didn't have much time to warm up. But before that, I was in the locker room in Florida State, and there was some fire there. Bobby Bowden said, and I quote, "One of us is going to leave this field in 30 minutes with tears in our eyes. It's not going to be us, guys. Go after him, get excited, forget about what happened to your quarterback." Let's find out what's going to happen right now. Brent?
All right, John, thank you. 1st and 10 now for Testaverde, who hands off to Williams, and he is battered down at the 28 by Anthony Williams, number 73, the first defender to hit him. Era, this is the first team this year to score 20 points on this Hurricane team. Oklahoma had scored 16, and that was the most the Canes had given up in a single game this year. But here in the first half, the Seminoles come down to the Orange Bowl, a field where they dearly love to play, and they scored 20 first-half points.
Been very conservative since Vinny's injury. I think it's going to be very important in the second half to see how he handles himself on this drop-back pass here. Screen.
He sets the screen to Highsmith, but the ball was dropped on the far side. There's that fullback screen that they put in for this game. 66 firm fullback screen, I believe it's called by the coaching staff.
Right, they were trying to screen out to the left. He baits them well. They come in on top of him, but the ball, the coverage was there.
I imagine it's possible that they gave Testaverde a painkiller and that injured foot if it was bothering him a great deal, and that might have been one of the reasons why he was out late. We'd have to check that with the trainer. This is 3rd and 5, and they will hand off to Highsmith, coming around the corner and getting the first down.
You can see how conservative their game plan has been since Vinny's foot was injured. We won't know exactly how well he is until he goes back and he's forced to scramble to see whether or not he can do the things he could normally do when he was healthy. Picking up the signal from the sideline there.
Era, on the other side of the ball, if you were Bowden and his defensive assistants, would you send some blitzers out after him and try to get him on the move?
I think I would change the game plan a little bit. I would blitz a little bit more than I had intended based on the fact that he is not as mobile. They're in the 2 deep zone.
Straight back and no pressure. All time. And he hits Williams. Another first down to the Seminole 45-yard line. That's a 17-yard gain.
Well, the coverage was good up to a point, but you can't give any passer as much time as Vinny had that time. You can see that they are 5 across here, the linebackers with a 2 deep. But this time, they drop off with 4 deep. You see right there, there's 4 deep. The linebackers are trying to cover man on man. No one gets anywhere near Vinny, and he has all kinds of time. You just can't give him that much time.
Warren Williams is the tailback. Testaverde calls the play at the line. Over the middle, and it is dropped. So the ball was bobbled into the heart of that coverage, and Greg Newell, number 40, the free safety, had the primary coverage on that play, and it'll be 2nd down and 10 for Testaverde.
Also, the receivers have dropped more balls that Vinny has thrown today than I have seen in a while. Normally, they're all sure-handed.
That week off sometimes can dull the timing a little bit. That has been the case with the Hurricane offense. They show blitz and drop back out of it. They run Williams around the right side, and he is cut off at the 45-yard line by Eric Hayes, 78. That young man has played himself a fine game here this afternoon for the Seminoles defensively.
He did a great job. Hung right on the line there and then fought his way right down the line of scrimmage and made it for no gain.
This will be 3rd and 10. And will that veteran offensive line give Testaverde time to find a receiver? Irvin is in the slot. Williams moves up on the wing. Now Highsmith goes out. 5 receivers out. Down the middle to Irvin. First down at the 21-yard line. A 24-yard gain. Testaverde to Irvin.
They tried to blitz here with Sanders. Watch him try to come in here. Irvin just comes right down and breaks over the middle. You see him pick up Sanders, number 2, the left cornerback. But Testaverde puts it right there. If he hadn't fallen, he'd have gotten much more yardage. Ground level view of it. There's the throw. Boy, didn't have much time.
Highsmith running on first down. Inside the 20-yard line, Paul McGowan, 38. Meets him at the 17 and brings him down. Era, Jimmy Johnson's offensive coordinator, Gary Stevens, changed some of the sets that they are using here early in the 3rd quarter.
They've used 3 wideouts to the wide side of the field. And also, Brent, the thing that's very noticeable, it's unlike Miami, is that they're running the ball on first down an awful lot. There it is again, trips to the wide side of the field.
Smith stepped over a tackler and moved quickly to the 14-yard line, short of the first down, but it'll leave him 3rd and short. Eric Williams, 17, came up defensively.
Boy, that was great running by Alonzo Highsmith. It looked like he's going to be stopped there for no gain, maybe even a loss. He's a great football player. That was all on his own.
10 times for those 48 yards here this afternoon.
Big down.
And a timeout being called and it's being charged to Florida State. Something they didn't like, and the offensive set. We'll be right back.
Derek Dodge, 28 in there.
We're back at 10:51 in the third quarter. 20-14, Florida State with a lead on Miami. Derek Dodge, the nickel man for the Seminoles, checking in and out of the lineup, and apparently that resulted in some defensive confusion, and Florida State used a timeout, leaving them with 2.
It'd be a very costly one also as this game comes to a conclusion.
Testaverde, there's blindside pressure, gets it off, and it's caught on the near sideline by Brett Perriman. So he'll move the sticks on that first down catch by Perriman.
What a throw that was, Brent. He's moving away from the line of scrimmage. Look at this. No way that you can knock that down. A great catch, and throw it low and away from the defenders. And that's exactly what he does there. And he's moving better than I thought he could. That's a very good example that he did come out and move away from the pocket and away from the rush.
First and goal at the Seminole 8. Bootleg to the left. Injury or not, Vinny Testaverde ties the game.
Question about whether or not Vinny can run. Watch him fake the sweep, keep the ball, and just turn and head for the end zone. He doesn't appear to be limping on this play. Runs it in, and we saw that on the sprint out pass earlier.
And the man who made the block was the man who made the reception on the key 4th down. Brett Perriman, number 33, diving low to give Testaverde a fresh set of downs. And he threw the block in the end zone. Testaverde on the bootleg took it the rest of the way. Meanwhile, on the other side, McManus is out for the afternoon. We'll be right back. In the warmth of the Orange Bowl, the #1 team in the country is ahead for the first time this afternoon. And Seelig kicks it off toward Ross of Florida State. No lateral this time. He powers free out beyond the 30, the 43-yard line. That is a great, great return. And a Florida State player came in after the whistle to throw a block, and there's a penalty flag down after a 38-yard gain. And what a mental mistake that is by the Seminoles.
This is a great job of running. I don't know how he popped through. He shakes one tackle. There's another. Bounces off of that. Comes up the sideline. We'll also see where the mistake was made here. There's a third one by Blades. Misses. That's Benny. And he's finally brought down. I can't see where the last...
It was after that era that the blow was delivered. Now, White is hurt for the Seminoles. Let's go back. I mentioned that Brett Perriman threw a block. Maybe it was too good a block.
Quarterback Testaverde is going to fake the sweep. Now, Perriman comes down here and throws a block, but it looks like he might have been pulled down. Let's take a look and see. He makes a good fake on the sweep. Fakes the entire Florida State Seminole right defensive side. Now, watch Perriman right there. Down goes the defender. I don't know. Looks like a two-point takedown to me.
Whatever, folks, it worked. Now, the personal foul penalty against the Seminoles brings the ball back to the 27-yard line. a very costly 15 yards. And because it was a dead ball foul, it is 1st and 25. Holloman and Floyd are the setbacks behind Willis. Off a fake, Willis throws complete on 1st down. He goes to the fullback, coming out of the backfield, Tanner Holloman. Rod Carter, the outside linebacker, 91, had him one-on-one as he released. But this will leave them 2nd and 22.
Hardly worth the risk to throw the ball for 3 or 4 yards. The coverage was there. You want to throw the ball upfield, you got big yardage.
Down by Dan Cilio. And the Stamford, Connecticut defensive lineman comes through and buries the fullback on that play.
Cilio does a great job. 93 right there, comes down to the inside. The trapper is knocked off and just pulverizes Holloman.
3rd and 22. Miami goes to 5 defensive backs. Swings it outside to Holloman, and he slips down at the 34. And Florida State is forced to punt.
It was well executed. They faked the draw. It held all the defense, and then they quick screen the ball. Watch him put it in there like the draw play. They fake it well, then dump the ball off to Holloman out here, but he slips and falls down. He could have picked up some yardage, but he would not have gotten the 1st down.
David Kintai goes deep on this punt by Berry, and they came after him, and he boomed a beauty. He's a fine punter. And Kintai is down at the 16-yard line.
Boy, John Parks did a number on him.
A 50-yard punt, and Parks slams him down right there.
Picture book stuff right here. Bang.
Oh, tough way. We'll be right back. The defensive unit of Florida State, and they must answer the challenge on this series. Miami leading by a point, and they run Highsmith on 1st down. Paul McGowan, 38, stepping up in there defensively along with several of his teammates. So if they can hold right here and force Miami to punt or get a turnover, then spirits would rise. But if Testaverde and the Canes go the long way this time, this game could break wide open.
That's the 13th time that they have run on 1st down, Brent. It changes their game plan.
Testaverde will throw on 2nd and 8. There's a penalty flag down, almost intercepted. But there is a marker down. Felton Hayes, 46, outside linebacker, dropped back in his zone. This is not a sharp performance by the Canes here this afternoon. They were favored by 2 touchdowns. Right now they are battling for their lives. After having won their first 7 games, they are ranked number 1 in the land.
Boy, that could have been a big turnover there. I'm not so sure I would have taken that 5-yard penalty, Brent. I think I would have taken that down. I think the down was more important. Look at here, they're trying to switch defenses. They're going to have people on and off the field.
And Williams goes nowhere, but that's face mask. Eric Hayes reached in and grabbed mask instead of jersey, and a costly penalty against Florida State.
It's a ground level view of it. Oh, there's the mask. Oh, gosh.
That's a bad one.
Let's see whether or not he gives them the big penalty or the 5. It's the big one.
And a 1st down for Miami near the 30-yard line.
The doing a lot of substituting. The Seminoles are defensively trying to get the right personnel in.
Bobby Bowden upset with the officials. Wants an explanation. Now he's got it. He'll go back to the headset on that far side. On first down, Highsmith out to the 32-yard line, and Fred Jones, 55, who has been relatively quiet here this afternoon, stepped in there and hit him.
Seminoles are setting a pattern. First down, run. First down, run.
You mean the Canes?
I'm sorry, the Canes are. But the Seminoles have done a good job in stopping the run.
Brian Blades and Irvin go to Testaverde's left. Highsmith flares out. Blades incomplete. Great defensive play by Eric Williams, number 17.
Eric Williams did a nice job, number 17. His timing was beautiful. His response to the ball while it was in the air. Watch here as he steps right inside and bats that ball away. And that ball was right on the money again to Blades. But Eric Williams, good defensive play, right cornerback.
Now there is the injured thumb that has put the Seminoles at an extreme disadvantage. Quarterback Danny McManus on a fake field goal had a helmet press up against it. Not fractured, but he's out for this game. Severely swollen. And on third down, Testaverde intended for his tight end, and there is a penalty marker down, and that was Martin Mayhew, who will be called for pass interference, number 32.
Again, it was man-to-man coverage with two deep. Looked like pretty good coverage overall, but the flag was thrown right at the last second.
Bowden again furious. He threw the headset. Now the hat goes down.
Let's see if we can see it. You'll see man-to-man coverage underneath. At the last second. It's all right here. Let's see. I don't know where he called. He called that interference. I think that's a thin call. I don't think it's interference. Couldn't see it certainly from that vantage point.
The chain is not yet completely moved. Now an offensive tackle jumps offside. That was Scott Probin who moved. And it's getting a touch sloppy here in the Orange Bowl. Era, take us back to that interference call.
All right, let's see if we roll it here. We'll roll it forward here and get right to the point where we can show. Here's the contact right there. But that's all right, as long as he stays in front and the ball's not in the air. Now, let's see. He's in front of him. Now, I can't tell whether or not there was any contact. There's the flag there.
Era, there might have been a hand in the back. From up here when I saw it live, I thought there might have been pushing there at the last moment. Testaverde back on first down, swings to Highsmith. Highsmith cannot cut away from four defenders who cut him off. Alfonso Williams, 26, a strong safety, coming up to press.
Well, the defense has played well. They've had some bad breaks in there. They had that face mask call. They've had that pass interference. And now they have forced them into a second down and 15 or 16 yards.
Bowden hoping that the defense can hold on. He's been upset with the officiating here in the second half. Irvin slotted to the right. Testaverde rolling in that direction. Highsmith underneath. Incomplete. He threw the ball too far in front of him. And he continues to be frustrated here this afternoon.
That time Jones, number 55, was beaten. They were in the two deep zone with the 5 men underneath playing man. Jones, 55, was beaten. Vinny missed him, and he was mad at himself for having missed him because he had him wide open.
And we remember that Miami has a snap problem here this afternoon in punting situations. This is 3rd and 18. This is a big play as Testaverde, after throwing the incompletion, says, I had him wide open. Why couldn't I deliver it? It was only 11 of 22 today for 130 yards, 1 touchdown and an interception. Under pressure, stepped up away from it. Open man was Perriman, and dropping back again was Eric Williams, 17.
Brent, I think with a quarterback problem that the Seminoles have, I believe Bobby Bowden's going to try to go after this because he knows that he's limited in what he can do offensively with McManus out of there. Let's see if they go after this one and really try to get it. They did get one earlier, and if there's any kind of a snap that hits that ground, they can get to it. They've got 10 of them up there.
McGee's the center. A low snap. Beagles comes up and does get it off quickly. Good job by the punter in that situation. Sanders returning. Slips free. Great return to the 45. What a good-looking athlete he is. The Seminoles will come out right there. A 34-yard punt and a 21-yard return. There is a Hurricane player down at the 35-yard line, slowly getting up. He's going to be okay.
Boy, that Deion Sanders is something, isn't he?
Boy, what a good-looking athlete. That's Bernard Clark, number 57. He's the backup middle linebacker on those special teams. He'll come off the field. And, of course, still ahead of us here this afternoon, we've got the season premiere of the NBA on CBS. Sarah?
Look at these moves by Deion Sanders. Bobby Bowden said he can play any position for him. And he's been sensational as a punt returner this afternoon as well as a cornerback.
Well, I mentioned the NBA, and that'll be the Los Angeles Lakers and the Houston Rockets when we finish here. That's next. 1st and 10 for Willis and the Seminoles. Jerome Brown was incomplete. The All-American defensive lineman broke through his block that time and pressured the freshman quarterback, Peter Tom Willis. And it's going to be hard going for Bowden's offense.
Well, Brent, I think they were trying to hit a quick screen out to the left. The linemen were sliding over, but the timing was off, the coverage was there, and they just didn't have a chance to do anything.
Boyd is the tailback. Great tackle by Rod Carter, number 91.
Now that's looking more like the Hurricane defense that only gave up 256 yards and only 99 a game rushing. They're starting to settle in. Granted, it's awful tough without your top quarterback, but this defense only gives 11.9 points per game. They've already given 20, but they're starting to really tighten up.
They're only 3 of 10 on 3rd downs against this defense, and this is 3rd and 12. Incomplete. Batted away by George Myra Jr., number 45, and now Bowden wants interference called the other way. He said, I want consistency. Why does it go that way and not our way? What's the difference? You tell me now. You saw that. Was there pushing behind? Come on. You drop it on them. Let's get it for me. Just give me the same call you gave him, all right?
That was verbatim, Brett. Absolutely verbatim. Here it is. Let's see whether Myra makes a great play or whether or not there is interference. Well, it's close. He made contact just as a
Perry
there.
Gets it off under pressure. The Canes were coming at that punt. It's down to the 25, and Florida State saying that Miami touched it, but the officials say no. No, they didn't. They let the ball bounce free. It'll be Miami's ball when you come back. 4:37 in the 3rd.
41-yard punt is down at the Miami 25-yard.
Jerome Brown is fierce when he turns it loose. And watch the below he delivers there to the freshman quarterback. It was up a touch high, however. You might have called roughing the passer in that situation, too. It is 1st and 10 for Testaverde. 21-20. He leads Florida State. Bratton is in the game. They fake to him. He gets it off, intercepted. Number 16, Sanders, picks one off for the Seminoles. And he is smacked down from behind right there. Boy, what a tackle by Blades. Now some words are exchanged. That was Brian Blades, who came back on Tracy Sanders and slammed him down. But there's the turnover that Bowden needs.
Again, it was not a good throw by Vinny. I don't know who he was throwing it to. He waits and waits, and finally, just before he gets hit, I don't know whether he apparently did not see. That's Alfredo Roberts, number 87, with his back to him. And of course, the ball was thrown poorly. Apparently did not see the defender. The only conclusion I can come to, because he's too good a passer to throw it to Tracy Sanders.
Now Willis with first down, and his offensive line jumps across the line of scrimmage. And they'll be penalized, and they continue to make damaging mistakes. Let's go downstairs to John Dockery. John?
Thank you, Brent. Remember before the game, they were concerned about Jerome Brown being in condition. He hasn't played much in the last month. Well, I asked him before. He said his condition's fine, but that he now has 2 turf toes, but he was okay. Also, Coach Davis, the defensive line coach, tell him to freelance. Take either side of the center, do your thing, and go after the quarterback, and it seems to be working. Interesting to watch him on this series, number 98. Now back to you, Brent.
All right, we'll be taking a look at him. They pitch to Floyd, and Floyd is tripped up by number 99. That's Winston Moss.
Well, strong side linebacker, big guy, 6'3", 236. Number 3 tackler on the Hurricane team with 63 involvements. And there you see Vinny knows that he made a bad throw. But he's the same guy that took him down for the touchdown that put him in the lead 21-20.
2nd and 16. Seminoles break the huddle. Rolling to the left. Throwing in underneath to Carter, the tight end. He's inside the 35, but they have to get to the 26 for a first down. So this will be a 3rd down play coming up.
This is a good sprint out here. There's a double team on Jerome. They got him that time. Cumberland got him, and there's a good throw right there. Excellent throw. Now we get an isolated look right here as these 2 men will take Jerome Brown on right there. Cumberland right there, 300 pounds. He's doing the job on him there.
Here comes 3rd and 7. Dexter Carter, number 13, checks in as an extra wide receiver.
Quick screen.
And they get it outside to Holloman, the fullback. First down. Great lunge there to the 25-yard line. And that gives the Seminoles a first down on that 3rd down situation.
This is well executed here. It's a quick fake the draw, come back to the outside. Watch here. Fakes a little draw play in there. Now he gets the quick screen. I thought Myra, number 45, might get to him here, but he gets to the corner and gets the first down before Myra can stop him. And they've got a first down at the 25-yard line.
And again, a play we have not seen is any kind of an end around or a reverse. They fake it on first down. Willis goes for the touchdown. Incomplete.
Gainer have his hands on that ball, and look, it's on the far corner. It looked like he was going to make a sensational catch.
Benny Blades, 36, took Gainer into the corner of the end zone.
They just went right up the sideline here, and you'll watch Benny Blades, who can run a 4.35 40, recover. Now let's see, he goes up, had his hands on the ball, but Blades did a nice job of defense. Here's another shot right there going up. Gainer's got his hands up there on the ball, and there's the job by Blades knocking it away. Great work.
Carter lines up at tailback. They pitch it to him. No running room. Number 94 leads the assault, Greg Mark. Great play by Mark.
Also took him back far enough that it might be it'll be a 50-yard field goal if they don't make anything on this next play. See here, just a pitch sweep, but there's no chance with the penetration that comes here. There's mark number 94, right up in his face there. No chance. And also a loss that could make the difference in the field goal opportunity that could give him the lead.
Here's Carter again. He gets inside the 30-yard line. The coaching staff will send Schmidt onto the field. And he will attempt the field goal.
About a 46-yarder, I think, Brent. See where he marks it down.
Schmidt has kicked 2 already here this afternoon for the Seminoles. They trail it by a point. We're inside of the 1-minute mark. It'll be Berry putting it down. He's an excellent kicker. It's good.
Boy, did he pop that ball.
A 45-yard field goal by Derek Schmidt moves Bobby Bowden's Seminoles back into the lead here, 23-21.
Brent, he could have had another 15, 20 yards that time. He would have made it.
I'll tell you something else that impressed me about him. The holder did not get it down perfectly, and Schmidt held off and waited for his placement and then whacked it through the uprights.
One other very important thing, within 43 seconds, the Hurricanes will get the wind, and it has picked up considerably since the beginning of this football game.
Well, let's present this week's Toyota Leadership Awards to those players who've been singled out by the coaching and faculty staff for outstanding performance in the areas of team contributions, academics, and citizenship. And today's winners are David Palmer from Florida State. David is a junior pre-med major. He has a 3.4 grade point average. And Bill Hawkins from Miami. He's a junior finance major with a 3.2 grade point average from nearby Hollywood, Florida. And Toyota will donate a check in the amount of $1,000 to each of the school's general scholarship funds. And congratulations to both of those student athletes here this afternoon. The ball is on the tee for Schmidt. Florida State leading number 1. He whacks it in the direction of J.C. Penney. He'll come out. Trying to swing outside, and he is down at the 14-yard line. Martin Mayhew, 32, just would not yield on that special team. He stayed in his alley, cut him off, and would not let him get to the outside. So later, after this action, we'll take you out to Houston. Dick Stockton and Tommy Heinsohn will be there for the Lakers and the Rockets. Boy, what a great Western Conference final they waged last year. And in tomorrow at 12:30 Eastern Time, we'll have the NFL Today coming your way. Is there too much violence in NFL football? We'll take a look at that. The Giants' dilemma tomorrow is one word. Make it 2 words. Dallas Cowboys. 1st and 10. The handoff to Bratton. Bratton powers out beyond the 20-yard line. Felton Hayes tripped him up, number 46. So it'll be 2nd down for Testaverde, who has been struggling, and Bobby Bowden doing it with Mears and a freshman quarterback here this afternoon.
Well, Benny will be picking up the wind in this 4th period. Will be very important, but they do not have very good field position at this stage.
They'll be content. Bring it down here, and now they will have the wind at their backs. We'll be back after this message and a word from your local station. CBS Sports presents college football, sponsored by Toyota, builder of tough, powerful, reliable trucks. Toyota. Apple Computer, makers of the Apple II, the educated choice in personal computing. And by the people who make glass containers, Naturally. "15 minutes to stay number 1. 2nd and 4 for the Hurricanes. Plenty of time. with the wind at his back. He hits his tight end, number 87. That was Alfredo Roberts. A 24-yard gain in error. Just as you said going into commercial, the wind was going to be a factor in the final 15 minutes.
There's no question about it, and Vinny has it now. He scrambled around there, had plenty of time. You give him that kind of time, he's going to complete passes. This same guy a year ago against this same team was sacked 7 times, got off of his back, and took the Hurricanes to a win.
Testaverde brings them to the line of scrimmage with this first down. Again, plenty of time, but still not enough. Great coverage in the secondary, and finally the nose man Harp came free to make the stop. But credit the defensive backs. They were all over his receivers that time. Let's go downstairs now for a few more thoughts on this fourth quarter. Here's John Dockery. John?
Thank you, Brent. My thought is this: if Vinny better put some points on the board, because Winston Moss, the only starter left over from that national championship team, is out with a hamstring. He's going to try to go, but he was limping severely along the sideline. I doubt if he'll be able to go back at strong side linebacker. And, of course, he's a big play guy for the Hurricanes. Now back to you.
That was the 5th sack registered against Testaverde by Florida State. Over the middle, complete to Highsmith. Short of the first down. Eric Williams, 17, tackles him. But he is very close.
Well, you want to see how strong an arm Vinny Testaverde has. That time he was backing away, and it looked like he was off balance. Watch here as he just, his arm doesn't step at all. Bang-o. No movement of the feet, all arm, and right to Alonzo Highsmith. That showed some real arm strength.
3rd and 2. Ball is at the 47-yard line. A tight running formation with 2 tight ends, and Williams for the first down. He followed the left side of that offensive line, Alekna and Maddox. And let's go to New York and Jim Nance. Jim?
All right, Brent, at halftime, we told everyone that Columbia is in the unusual position of leading a football game. Here, Dan Bowditch breaks away for the Lions and goes in for the score, and Columbia could be breaking their 30-game winless streak. Let's go back to Brent Nera.
It is a 1st and 10. The ball is at the 42-yard line. Testaverde with that straight back drop. Incomplete. He wanted Irvin.
Vinny is mad at himself. He had him open. But he's really not stepping with his foot, Brent. He's just throwing all with his arm.
And in case you did not join us, Vinny Testaverde came into this game with an injured instep. He is wearing a special protective pad on the top of the right foot, high top shoe. The low cut shoe is there on the left foot, and it has affected him. He was shaken up in the first half. Timeout has been called, and Florida State will be left with only 1 timeout, and we'll be right back. Here in the Orange Bowl, we have 12.5 minutes to play. Miami trailing Florida State. And this is a 2nd and 10 for Vinny Testaverde and the Hurricanes. Ball is at the Seminole 42. For Blades, breaks free, and he's out of bounds at the 20-yard line. That's a 22-yard gain. Testaverde to Blades.
Beautiful throw, and a perfect throw against the double zone. Up the sideline. You come up to the, you'll see him come right up the sideline here and beat the defender. There he is. Now watch. The ball is perfectly thrown before the deep secondary guy who has a half of the field can get there. The perfect route against that defense.
If Blades could have stayed in bounds for about half a step, he would have zipped into the end zone.
Calling an audible at the line.
For Blades, touchdown Miami. come right back. And Testaverde hits Blades on the far sideline for 22 yards, comes back with the touchdown.
Brent soon is, and this is what he was doing, is calling an audible. He called him in man-to-man. Going to go for the 2 points here.
They lead 27-23. And now Testaverde walks away while time has been stopped down on the field, and Miami uses a timeout. Let's use the opportunity to look at this.
He saw that he had a man-to-man, and you see the crossing defenders are the receivers, and Blades just goes down and breaks to the outside. If we have a top view of that, you'll be able to see this is what Vinny picked up. He saw the man-to-man coverage, automatically called the play, and the tough route that they ran against it, and Vinny put the ball right there. Here's a top shot of it right here. You'll see he catches a man-to-man. They go down and break out, and you'll see that they can't stay him one-on-one. He goes down, breaks to the post, then breaks to the flag. And look at this pass thrown perfectly before the defender can get his hands on it. That was Eric Williams. Just didn't quite get there.
During the timeout, they substituted tight ends, but Coach Jimmy Johnson and Testaverde are conferring with the referee at the 20-yard line. Now Testaverde, with that last touchdown pass, has thrown 41 in his career here at Miami, and that the school record, breaking the one held by Bernie Kosar. Highsmith incomplete. He led him too much. Missed on the short ball. Miami leads Florida State 27-23, failing on the two-point conversion attempt with 12.5 minutes to go here in Miami.
Well, it was a perfectly executed touchdown play. They came back for the 2 points. You see Vinny there shaking his head. I just threw a strike against man-to-man for the touchdown. A hard throw to the flag. Now I can't hit a little out pattern here. You'll see, here's that touchdown. You'll see he catches him in man-to-man here. And you'll see Blades will go down and break to the outside. He'll break here, and they can't cover him. Watch here. There's your man-to-man. Blades goes in, gets his defender, Williams turned around, but he can't quite get there before the ball's there. Perfect route against that man-to-man coverage.
The kickoff return team of Florida State scored on one shocker earlier in the game following a Miami touchdown. I will see if they come up with something after this scoring play to Brian Blades. The ball being put down by Mark Seelig. Ross and Carter are deep for Bowden in the first half, in case you joined us late. Ross took one 5 yards deep, came out to the 10, threw the lateral cross field, and Carter took it 100 yards. That one goes out of bounds, and 5 yards will be marked off against the Hurricanes.
Well, they'll reload on that one. Well, as I pointed out, Brent, that the Seminoles are going to have even an increasingly difficult chore in going into the wind, because Testaverde had some problems going into the wind. But as soon as he found it behind him, he started to throw strikes.
Miami in the second half has registered 164 yards to Florida State's 16. All day long, the Goodyear blimp has hovered above the Orange Bowl here and given us some splendid shots of the Miami skyline, the ever-expanding Miami skyline. And as soon as we finish here in Miami, we'll send you into Texas. Houston will be the scene. It'll be the Los Angeles Lakers and the Houston Rockets. The season premiere of the NBA on CBS this afternoon. 12:24 to go. It's 27-23. Miami with the lead over the Seminoles of Florida State. Ross slips free of another tackle. Boy, he's a son of a gun to bring down, isn't he, Coach?
Really is. Between Ross and Sanders, Dion, they've got two great return people.
Now the problem for the Seminoles is at quarterback. They have been forced to go with the freshman Peter Tom Willis ever since Danny McManus broke or at least injured a thumb. The x-rays were negative, so we don't know how severe the sprain is, but he injured a thumb on a fake field goal, and he has not been able to play since. Willis brings him to the line of scrimmage. Good fake. Great completion coming out of the backfield that time. It was Victor Floyd hit him for the first down. He is 8 of 12, and that was a 19-yard gain, and that gives him 71 yards.
They make a great fake to the inside, and of course he comes right from this spot right there, and he has enough time. He almost gets sacked. There's the trap fake, and you see him go around. That's Floyd coming around. There he is right in the seam, and Willis throws a nice ball in there. That was a very fine pass.
If Willis can pull the trigger, Bobby Bowden will give him the plays to work with. He's got some offensive mind. Deep drop, underneath, batted away. Great play by Jerome Brown, the All-American defensive lineman.
He had the time, and he had the receiver open. At that time, Brown just knocks the ball down. Here he is. You'll see the receiver come from your right. He delivers the ball. Looks like he's going to be open right there. But look at Brown knock that ball down. And Darren Holloman thought he had a reception, and he wound up with empty.
This is the play previously. After the ball is delivered to Floyd, he gets jumped on by one Danny Stubbs. It is hard going against this defense. 2nd and 10. Here comes Floyd to the 48-yard line. It'll be short of the first down. Bubba McDowell, 48, bringing him down. Sammy Smith was injured on the opening series, and he has not played since, even though he did put his uniform back on.
Now let's see what the Seminoles come up with. They've got 3rd down about 4. Tough call.
Incomplete. In and out of the hands of his tight end, Tom O'Malley. George Myra and Randy Shannon, 22, drop back on coverage. So Berry will punt it for the Seminoles with 10:54 on that clock. Miami leading by 4 points. David Kintai set to return.
Good punt.
Signals for the fair catch, but he's going to let it go. And the Noles down it right about the 7-yard line. A 41-yard punt by Berry. We'll be right back to the Orange Bowl. Back in the Orange Bowl, and a punt by Lewis Berry. We'll have the Hurricanes playing a little conservatively, you would think. Leading 27-23, I say think because you can never be too sure with Testaverde. He'll run Bratton. Bratton gets out beyond the 10-yard line. They must go to the 17 for a first down. Paul McGowan tackling Bratton. Bratton and Highsmith are in the backfield. Testaverde is backed away from his teammates to take the signal from the sideline on the play that offensive coordinator Gary Stevens has called upstairs.
Got to be very careful down here. Hang on to the football. They don't want any turnovers.
Here is Bratton, short of the first down and the 15-yard line. So it will be a 3rd and 3 with Kevin Grant, 47, stopping Jimmy Johnson's tailback.
See whether or not the Seminoles deploy into a goal line type defense to shut them down. If Vinny finds that, he can pick a man-on-man, man-to-man coverage, and he may audible to it. Let's see what they're doing defensively. No, they're not going into a goal line look.
Testaverde uses a timeout. Only one timeout left for the Hurricanes. and 1 for the Seminoles. We'll be right back for the last 9:25 in a moment. And it's a good one between Florida State and Miami. We have 9:25 to go, 27-23. Miami with the lead. This is a 3rd and 3. Testaverde bringing them to the line of scrimmage.
Got one-on-one on the out corners.
He'll throw.
There it is.
He's got Irvin. That's the first down.
They tried to hide their coverage that time, Brent, but they couldn't. They had to show that they were coming in to a goal line look with one-on-one coverage here, one-on-one coverage there. Testaverde picks it up, and of course the quick out does it. They'll just do it to you every time, and you can't cover one-on-one right there. There it is. Testaverde puts it right there to Irvin, and they got their first down.
Irvin has caught 5 balls for 63 yards here this afternoon. 9 minutes on the clock, and now Testaverde with some breathing room. Down the middle to Perriman. Perriman at midfield. From behind, inside the 45-yard line, Stan Shiver. Got a hand on him, or he might have gone the distance, but it was a 39-yard gain by Perriman, who injured a hand on the play.
Watch him come in from the right side of your screen, and watch that ball come in here. The velocity on that ball and right on the numbers of Perriman, and he comes up that right side, goes beyond Deion Sanders, number 2, and finally is tripped up, but not until he's made a big gain. Perriman right here as he breaks across. There's the ball. Look at that throw. That's a beautiful throw.
Testaverde calls the audible on first down. They have lost Highsmith to an injury. Darrell Oliver has checked in at fullback. He hits Irvin inside the 35. Let's go downstairs to John Dockery. John?
Thank you, Brennan. When Florida State gets the ball back, that man, number 5, Chips Ferguson, will be the quarterback. Bobby Bowden came over to him moments ago and said a few words in his ear, because when Willis came off the field last time, he talked about him getting the ball to the receiver too late. Willis was just sitting with his head down along the bench, so we will have a change at quarterback for Florida State, it appears. Now back to you, Brent.
This is 2nd down and 4 for Testaverde. Calling the play, even using a hand signal in case someone cannot hear. Drops back, Irvin. It'll be down there at the 7-yard line. Testaverde to Irvin. 28 yards.
They were in 3 deep zone that time, and he just picked them right between the 2. This deep safety man, you'll see here, he'll come down and break right in. They'll walk into a 3 deep with these men involved in the coverage, and watch him split that zone. They'll just come right straight up the field, break to the inside, and look at the ball right there before the safety man can get over there. Perfect throw, great call, and great route.
And the Hurricanes slowly moving into command of this one. 6 straight completions by Testaverde. A little inside handoff to Williams, who busts inside the 5, and Paul McGowan brings him down there.
It's been a very impressive drive by the Hurricanes.
Started back on their own 7-yard line after Bowden's punter buried them down there.
And that 3rd and 3 was a key play on it. They would have been forced to a punting situation. But Benny hit him on an audible.
Highsmith is checked back in on this 2nd and goal. Williams runs behind him, and he is short as he tried to twist free. Boy, that Highsmith, can he open a hole? He led the way through there. Bratton comes off the bench. This will be 3rd and short. Bratton has the capability of diving up over the top. There is Williams trying to swing free, and it was whistled dead. You have to watch for number 5 at 3rd and short to come right over the top in this situation for Miami.
There he goes.
Thrown back at the goal line. The Seminoles were ready, and it will be 4th and goal. Jones and McGowan stood tall. The two linebackers come right in at the goal line, and they stood him up there. They would not yield, and it is 4th and goal.
What a great job defensively. You'll see Bratton dive right there, but you can see everybody in there. Looked like 40. Greg Newell was the key guy.
Bowden's defense gave up a touchdown to Jimmy Johnson's Testaverde on a bootleg in an earlier situation. This, though, is 4th and goal. Oliver checks in. Bratton. Then he runs it. The second time that Vinny Testaverde has taken the bootleg in. That was a tremendous fake to Bratton. The hole there on the right side. Then he put the ball on his hip and took it for 6 more.
Great call.
And Cox hits the extra point. Number 1 and in control now. 34-23 over a game that an undermanned Florida State team. Watch as Testaverde delivers the fake, the ball in the other hand, and he runs it in.
Well, we saw this same play once before in this ball game, and Testaverde did the same thing. It was just a different formation. He fakes the hand to Bratton, and here he walks into the end zone. He knows he's got the corner. Now you're looking at it at ground level from the defense. Great fake. They're all going one way, and Vinny's going the other.
Miami leading by 11. And 5:20 to go. And a third quarterback getting ready for the Seminoles. Chip Ferguson, who lost his starting job to Danny McManus several weeks ago, is due to come on. McManus suffered a hand injury on a fake field goal in the first half. Harry, if there is any play in the whole season that Bobby Bowden would dearly love to have back, it's that fake field goal.
Yes, when he tried to go for the 4th down and relatively long yards and started taking the 3 points. Of course, there are a number of things that happened. I think he probably would like to have McMahon back.
Second touchdown pass by the Wolfpack. Eric Kramer, their quarterback, pulls one out over South Carolina. And Auburn is still unbeaten, leading Florida, and Nebraska on the comeback after last week's shocker. And SMU leading Texas A&M in the first quarter, and Ohio State doing it to Iowa again. Ferguson will not get it off because Dan Stubbs put a saddle on him and rode him to the ground.
Well, when they front four knows that you're going to pass the football, they just turn themselves loose, and it's awful tough to keep them off.
Moving quickly is Ferguson. Again, he's under pressure and will not get it off. Danny Cilio, number 93, led the rush that time.
I wouldn't want to be the quarterback in there right now. They're all turning loose. Cilio, 288 pounds. Jerome Brown, 285. Stubbs, 241.
And Ferguson is wondering, Coach, can't we please run the draw play right now?
One time, right.
Disappointed freshman Willis who stepped in behind McManus, who left with that injury. Number 1 and stomping and storming right now. Diving for the ball, number 19, Darrell Fullington, but it's ruled incomplete. Three downs and out.
Well, this has been quite a quarter for the Hurricanes. And a shaky second quarter. And also a moderate third quarter. But boy, if they come back in this fourth period, mark of a champion.
And Berry gets one off the side of his foot. Gets a roll out near the 40-yard line. But he did not hit it well. A 34-yard punt. And the Canes will be coming back for a big one in a moment. Came up a little short, Era. It was tough going after he lost McManus.
Yeah, I think he had a great game plan. You don't have a quarterback that can execute. And on top of that, you're going against the number 1 team, and you can see the frustration that Bobby is expressing there.
They'll run Bratton down close to the 35-yard line with Sanders, number 2, who has played so well. And Chip Ferguson becomes the third quarterback used by the Seminoles this afternoon.
Greg, Bratton, of course, getting up there limping a little bit, but Brent, I think that there's a good relationship that exists between these two teams. Obviously, many of them come from the state of Florida, and both staffs respect one another, and I think that's important. And they play hard when they come down here to play, but it's a cleanly fought game.
On second down, Williams hit at the 30-yard line, be close to a first down. That's the hand that turned this game completely around. Danny McManus was moving the offense. Seemed to have a great feel for the defensive pressure. And on a fake field goal, that thumb was jammed by a helmet, and he has not been able to play. Those are impressive numbers. That was back in the opening quarter. Williams outside for the first down. The clock down to 2:30. It's an 11-point lead by Miami.
You know, Brent, if you're going to be a national champion, and certainly this is what the Hurricanes would like to have, you've got to get by a game like this, a game where maybe you're not playing your best in some of the quarters and you're going against a doggone good football team. You got to get by a game like this. Every team that's been a national champion has had a game where they've bailed it out in the third or fourth period, and certainly Miami has done that here.
Testaverde to throw against the coverage, and he hits his tight end who slid out, Alfredo Roberts. John Parks, 19, up with the coverage. And it will be 2nd 5. And talking to Jimmy Johnson, it's interesting that in this situation, if you show Testaverde a certain defense, it doesn't matter what the score is. He will throw the ball. And when he came up that time, he saw it, did what he'd been taught to do by Johnson, and that's why he put it up. And he'll throw it again on 2nd down for Perriman. Great grab by Perriman for the touchdown. Number 1 and going to stay that way. Vinny Testaverde shakes off that foot injury, and what a second half show he puts on.
Just one-on-one again, and it's awful tough to take Miami one-on-one. The ball's right there. Eric Williams just can't quite get to it.
Now the numbers mount. The Hurricanes will win their 8th in a row, and handily. also have won the championship of the state of Florida, man. Beat those Gators earlier this year, and now you're whacking the Seminoles. Here's Ross in the end zone. Boy, he can put that kick in the corner of the end zone about as well as any kicker we've seen.
Well, gonna have to move him back, I guess.
Yeah, Brett, you made a great catch down there. A lot of folks were happy about that, and some weren't. 1:27 to go. I'll tell you, whatever they gave Testaverde at the half, I want some. He comes back with that injury and goes 14 of 21 for 224 yards and 2 touchdowns.
It's been quite an exhibition by Testaverde in this second half. We didn't know whether he was going to be able to go or not with that foot, but under pressure, he did it.
There's a handoff by Ferguson to Floyd. He runs out to the 36-yard line. Benny Blades brings him down after a 16-yard gain. Boy, he lit it up here. He threw off the back foot. Couldn't seem to put a lot of pressure on the injured right foot. Bootlegged a couple of touchdowns here this afternoon. They just send the Heisman Trophy down here, can't they? Ferguson. But in fairness to Florida State, we have got to say that this game might have gone right down to the wire if Danny McManus had not left with that hand injury. He was doing a splendid job against that defense.
He was off to a great start. He has a great release, senses the people around him. He's never been sacked. That doesn't say that he was not going to get sacked in this ball game with that front four when they turn loose on you when they get a lead. He'd been hard-pressed not to be sacked, and certainly it had a big bearing on this football game.
Second down and 1. Incomplete. Oh, there was that pass for DeMary. He is a young man out of the Miami area. And Bain was there on the coverage. Tolbert Bain delivered the most important blow of the game inadvertently when his helmet smacked into the throwing hand of McManus, who was running on that fake field goal, an era, as you pointed out at the time, he shouldn't have been running with the ball because he had the fullback open for a quick pop pass coming out of there.
And let him turn loose for it.
That's next, the Lakers and the Rockets. Rematch of the Western Conference Final, overthrown and incomplete. And the final seconds will tick away here, and you'll get a look at the two teams that are favored to wind up in the Western Conference Championship again, the Lakers and the Rockets. But the question about the Lakers is their age. Can Kareem Abdul-Jabbar hold up again? And how about A.C. Green? How much playing time will he get? Meanwhile, the Rockets today will be without Ralph Sampson. He is out for 4 games because of an injury. And they will be testing a couple of new guards. As the time runs down in the Orange Bowl on what has been a good one. A tough loss for Florida State. They came in here prepared to play their game of the year. And they were right on target and moving the ball, and then disaster struck when the quarterback went out with a hand injury. Testaverde struggling with that injury. Came back so strong here in the second half and showed you why he is the Heisman Trophy winner. And there is Papa Testaverde. My son was made for the Heisman Trophy. No doubt about it. This is the biggest win by Miami over Florida State since 1976 when they beat them 47-0. He'll get a trophy and he'll wind up the first player picked in the NFL draft, and he did it with some pain here this afternoon. He showed you a lot of courage here today. You think Papa likes that song?
Oh,
you can be proud of him, can't he?
A wonderful sight.
You bet. Let's go down to John Dockery. John?
Thank you, Brenna. Happy Verdi family. Vinny, what a game. Just performance. What about the foot?
Oh, it feels fine. It's throbbing a little bit, but, you know, we won the game, and that's the big thing.
You know, Brent and Arrow, we're talking about those called, or were they improvised?
No, the play is called to give the ball, but if the end comes down real hard, I just keep it and take it outside.
Congratulations. I scared you a little bit, but you held on. Number one.
Yeah, we did. That's what number one teams do. We're number one, too.
Congratulations. Now back to you, Brent.
That's the first time that Papa has let him talk that much. Remember the Oklahoma game? We'll be right back after these messages from your local station.